jacket and a framed up dame cracking out the tail like cops are looking for fame. Clap hands, clap hands, clap hands. Said hide, hide, don't you open the door. Son of a bitch is never coming back here no more. Bud Light in the bar and a Jeep on the street. We can always find a scapegoat here to take all the heat. Clap hands, clap hands. Scream, scream, 100 bad dreams. Everybody's butt dialing in their bed and jeans. A missing shoe and a cop's misplaced hat, and nobody's sure where Mr. Never Cracker at. Said hide, hide, don't you open the door. Son of a bitch is never coming back here no more. Bud Light in the bar and a Jeep on the street. We can always find a scapegoat here to take all the heat. Clap hands, clap hands, clap hands. Scream, scream, 100 bad dreams. Everybody's butt dialing in their bed and jeans. A missing shoe and a cop's misplaced hat, and nobody's sure where Mr. Never Cracker at.
Okay, just do my judge impression there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing it with, however good it feels, why you're doing it in the first place, and however many times you plan on doing it. I'm just glad you're doing it here with me, Legal Vices. We are ready to go with the afternoon of day 22 of the Karen Reed murder trial. If you watched the morning session with us yesterday, you'll know that I was planning on doing something else today. I was planning on looking at the Clayton Eckert and Laura Owens hearing that was going on at the same time this was going on yesterday. But I was just planning on doing a review of the afternoon. But apparently, according to the way my inbox was full when I woke up a few hours later, people are saying, no. You need to do the afternoon session with us. All right. I have not watched any of it. I've seen a few little things here and there on Twitter, but all I know is people are saying, it gets much worse than it was in the morning. Much, much worse. That's the extent of what I know. So we'll find out. I'm sure most of you probably know what happened in the afternoon, but I'm not one of those. I'm not privy to the intertwine and workings of what happened because I wasn't there. But here we go. All right, so settle in. And if you're watching this on replay here, skip ahead another couple minutes, probably to about the 7-8 minute mark, so we can give time for this to populate. We got 184 people here right now, so we'll wait for this to build up as we get going. So just give us a few minutes to get a few more people here. And while you're doing that, do make sure you do all the YouTube stuff. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you have subscribed, please double check to make sure you're still subscribed. YouTube's going through another purge for no reason, so purge them. And for those of you that have been clamoring for the last 2 years for something else other than super chats, which of course super chats are always welcome. We don't necessarily grift for them except for on F Fridays once a month, but they are very, very graciously accepted, each and every one, from $500 to 99 cents. They are all graciously and gratefully accepted. So please continue to send them. But you've been looking for other ways. People, I was busy when I was on vacation in the States for 2 weeks. So if you'll go down there into the description of the video, you'll find that we now have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal available. So if that's your thing, you've been clamoring for it for 2 years, so use it. It should be up and running. So that's right down there in the description. We got Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal available now. So go and do your thing. I'm just letting you know that option is available if that's something you want to use. But and it was just done purely because you all were begging for them. So there we go. Right. Let's see, what else do we have to do for housekeeping? Oh yeah, up here in the chat, at the very top of chat, you'll notice there is a pinned comment that is the link for generating your bingo card, because we're going to be playing Karen Reed murder trial bingo while we're doing this. That keeps me and you a little focused on the trial. Plus, it's a little competition. If you get bingo, just let everybody know in chat you got bingo, and then continue to see how many spaces you fill. We came very close. We came 6 squares away from a full blackout just in the morning session yesterday. Right. So let's see. I've got to generate my card. There we go. Here's my card is now generated, and click in the free space. Jake 80 bucks. And when is the next F Friday? Well, that would be next Friday. So that'll be a week from this coming Friday. All right. Oh, wow, hitting the big time now. No, I just had to go through the process. I had to jump through all the hoops of setting up a U.S. phone service and getting a real bank rather than the horrific credit union that I've been using for the past several years. It took a while, and it seems like everything unintercoursed itself today. So I think we're good to go with alternative payment method. All right, so for those of you that are just joining us for the first time, well, we've got 222 of us here. If you're just joining for the first time, we're going to be watching the afternoon session. We watch the trials. We try not to comment as much as possible over the top of the judge, the lawyers, the witnesses. It's a very serious trial, very serious topic, but we handle the seriousness with a little bit of levity and humor. You'll notice that the chat, Vice Squad, as they've dubbed themselves, is in fact the best chat on the entire internet. When super chats come in while the trial is on, we'll flash them up on the screen, read them later. When there's a break, when there's a natural lull in the conversation, when there's sidebar, because God knows there's sidebars in this case. We'll read them then. And we'll also try to flash up the occasional other comment that I noticed that's witty and whatnot. At $100, we unlock the doggo cam. At $200, we have a punishment shot, which is a pure Korean whiskey that's not very great. We came $13 away from that. And if through some magic of the universe we hit the $300 mark, it's a double shot of absinthe. All right. I think that's it. Jonathan Irwin has started us off right with the 20. Sorry, I just saw 5. I should have known it was 5 from the color. With the $5. Wanted to say it was so busy yesterday in helping my neighbor understand her landlords. Helping her understand her landlord's bankruptcy hearing, that I missed the membership. Oh no, thank you so much. Well, hey, lucky you. You weren't here, but you got it anyway. And speaking of gifted memberships, Hey Joe has gifted 5 Legal Vices memberships. If you are one of the 5 that got one of those gifted memberships, make sure you give Hey Joe a super special thanks. That would be Cynthia Fire 42, Ken Langley, Chris Brookhammer, I Am the Princess, and Audrey. All right, and thank you so much for that, Hey Joe. That puts us well on our way. Puts us 70 away. And Brian Miller with the $2. Can we get your take on the YSL judge yesterday? YSL judge being a complete weirdo, being completely off the hook, and trying to root out the mole in the courtroom, the mole and his staff. It's a very, very small possible pool of people. It was the people that were in the judge's chamber. He's deciding to arrest one of the defense lawyers for contempt and throw him in the hoosgow until he gives up his source of the information that he obtained that was only available to those people that were in a secret ex parte meeting that the defense lawyer didn't know about in the judge's chamber. That's crazy. It was absolutely insane. Yeah. Do not go to Fulton County, Georgia. Bad things could happen there, especially if a judge is willing to throw your lawyer in jail to find out how his secrets got out and the bad stuff. So yeah, that's my take on that. It's insane. It's crazy. Fulton County, Georgia is not a place to be. Apparently, I thought it would be a cool place, but nope. And finally, before we jump straight into this, Bridget, who's been a member for 10 months. How many witnesses? And they still have not shown how a car might have caused those injuries to prove their case. Well, they've got a few days. They've probably got another week or two left of the prosecution's case. They've got to call some sort of wizardry accident recreation specialist to tell us exactly how all of the lines on his arm, all of the marks on his arm, all of the marks on his coat line up with the damage to the vehicle or are consistent with being rammed by a several-ton vehicle. It ain't looking good. Right. So we've got our own judge here. We've got our own judge to worry about. And this is in the Boston area. It's not Fulton County, Georgia, but she's a piece of work too. I was telling people until yesterday, hey, she's not as bad as you think she is. She's a little strict. She's a little exasperated. She's a little rough around the edges, but she's not that bad. Well, I'm done with that line of thinking. Yesterday, completely the motion hearing yesterday morning, and the trial behavior. Yep, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. She ain't a good judge. All right. So make sure you've got your bingo card generated. Click that free space. You don't have to download anything or install anything. You just click on the link up there on the top where it says generate your bingo card, and then click on the generate button, and boom, there you are. Right. That's it. We're going to leap feet first into the afternoon session as soon as I read Emily G's $5 super chat. Let's get to Doggo Cam. I'm looking forward to cross-examination. We get to cross-examination today. I thought Lally would run out the clock and just take the whole entire day so that they wouldn't get to the beat down that I assume is going to happen on cross-examination. But let's find out. Emily G, thank you so much. Let's bring this on up. Here we are. The judge comes back from lunch with this expression on her face. All right. I can't believe Runkle isn't more against Bev. I wasn't against Bev until yesterday myself. So I didn't particularly like her until yesterday. Now we can say that I'm not really on her side of the fence anymore. All right, ladies and gentlemen, plug yourselves in here. Let's get ripping. And now, when the super chats, we'll flash them up on the screen when they come up, and then we'll read them during breaks, and we'll take care of the rest of the conversation as we go along. Settle back and enjoy our little brand of irreverent, an irreverent take on serious topics. Let's go.
What's back in session? You may be seated.
Bring a witness in, please.
Yes, we have Trooper Proctor still on the stand on direct examination. The things to bear in mind is he is the lead investigator. He's all over this case. His figurative fingerprints are all over this case, finding important pieces of evidence, talking to witnesses. He's all over this. He's the lead investigator. He's the guy you have to trust more than anybody else in the case. He's the guy that's making it all happen. And we have to see if we find him reputable. I don't already, but all right. Sonny or Chris is just going nuts, going crazy and gifting 10 Legal Vices memberships. Wow. That's very, 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 very generous of you. Thank you so very much. We'll give you a foghorn for that. All right. It's time to get down to business here, right? Whew. Oh, Bridget, thank you so much. Wow. I somehow missed things here. I missed Bridget. Bridget, who's been a member for 10 months, says, how many witnesses? Oh, no, I read this. I read member for 10 months. It looked different when I was reading down here. I got to apologize. My brain is still catching up. I was asleep until about 14 minutes before I was supposed to be here. Jet lag is still kicking my ass. All right. Apologies for that. But hey, Bridget gets a twofer. Why not? Again, so lead investigator, the guy in charge of everything, fingerprints everywhere. Let's see if we trust him. Proctor! Oh, he's got a bottle of whiskey there with him. That's good.
So, jurors, before we begin, Mr. Lally, as you approach the podium there, when I tell you that I strike something from the record, I know I've told you before, that means you're not to consider it, okay?
Oh, yeah, sure. Because you can unring a bell.
Go ahead, Mr. Lally.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, with reference to, I believe before we broke, we were talking a bit about Julie Albert and Christopher Albert, correct?
Yes.
So how would you describe your relationship, if any, between Julie Albert and Christopher Albert prior to January 29, 2022?
Loose acquaintances.
Loose
People
acquaintance
that you
with
knew
Brian.
through your sister, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, with reference to the occasions that you had said where you may have been at the same place at the same time at a family function or something like that, over what period of time are we talking about, and about how many different instances of that occurred over those years?
Like I mentioned, they had never been to my house. It was either at my sister's home or at my parents' house. Over the course of maybe 10 years, I might have been at the same function half a dozen times.
And at those times that you were at the same function a half a dozen times or so, how much interaction would you have with either Christopher Albert or Julie Albert, or even Colin Albert at those functions?
Just casual conversation, be cordial, and just typical conversations, you know, hi, how's it going, things of that nature.
Now, with reference to these experiences,
gives him one of those, "How you
or
doing?"
relationships, lack thereof, that you had with Christopher and Julie Albert, what, if any, conversations did you have with your supervisors, as far as superior officers within your unit, in regard to?
I explained the connection with my sister to the Albert family.
And who did you explain that to?
That would be Sergeant Mechanic, Lieutenant Fanning, and Detective Lieutenant Tully.
All right, Trooper, I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up, maybe approach the microphone a little closer.
Your Honor, may we approach the
And just with
microphone?
respect to those disclosures, what specifically did you tell either Sergeant Mechanic, Lieutenant Fanning, or Lieutenant Tully?
Basically, that the Alberts are my sister's friends. That I've been at some functions with them, and the only kind of connection with the Albert family is through my sister.
And just when you say the Alberts, as far as who specifically within the Alberts are you talking about that had a friendship with your sister?
Julie, Chris, and their son Colin.
Now, with regard to the investigation that you were conducting and the interviews that you conducted, what, if any,
I'll be
impact
right back.
did those relationships have with regard to your interviews of them specifically, or the investigation in total?
Zero. Absolutely zero impact on this investigation.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
All right, I've missed something. Looks like he's going to be introducing some more evidence, huh? Turn off my Huh. I was just gifted a channel membership. To whom? Aussie Overlord. Huh. I just got a message saying I'd been gifted a membership to Aussie Overlord's channel. Cool. Huh. So what's going on here, peeps? Hurry up, dude. Look through those documents.
Sir, I'm showing you a document. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
It's a text message thread
Oh.
labeled Proctor Friends.
Uh-oh.
Now, over the course of your investigation, over the course of this case, are you aware that there were iCloud data that was obtained from your personal cell phone?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
And different text strings from that iCloud data from your personal cell phone, correct?
Correct.
And with respect to what has just been placed before you, is that an excerpt or a piece from those particular messages?
Uh,
It is.
And
Wait, these are the text messages that Yannetti was talking about during his opening? Oh, dear. Okay.
from the front page of that, can you tell the jury who are sort of the participants in this particular text communication?
There's several numbers that aren't identified. The three that are kind of nicknames me and my buddies have for each other.
Oh,
And
what are the
generally
nicknames?
speaking, just as far as the participants in this text communication, who are these people to you, and how do you know them? How long have you known them? Who are they?
The members on this text thread are close friends from junior high, first grade even.
So people you've known for years, is that correct?
Correct.
And do each of them live, or do any of them live within the general area at this time?
Some of them do, yes.
And so when some of them do, some of them do not, is that correct?
Correct.
And the ones that do not, how far away do they live?
As far away as Tennessee.
Now, with reference to this, there's an indication as far as the first message sent or last message sent from this particular text chain, correct?
I'm sorry, repeat the question, please.
Sure. Sort of towards the middle of the first page. Help direct your attention to that area. Is there any indication as far as the first message sent and the last message sent?
Oh, no, chat. Why? Why? What have you done to me? You're the ones that told me to do this. You're the ones that told me to watch this and not do a review. What have you done? No. Oh dear, it gets that bad.
With respect to this text chain.
On the first page, yes.
Oh no.
And what is indicated as far as the first message and the last message?
The first message is, I need to brandish a gun more often. The last is,
Oh
Chip,
no.
name of that BPD cop.
No, I'm sorry, sir. If I could direct your attention to the first page in this packet, page
Oh
2527.
no.
You see conversation details.
Oh dear.
Sorry, may I approach?
Yes.
I can already tell I need a cigar for this.
Right.
Okay.
You see what I was talking about now?
I do, sir.
And from that area labeled conversation details, there's a first message sent date and time and a last message sent date and time, correct?
Yes.
What is the first message sent date and time?
It's 10/18 of 2021 at 8:48 a.m. The last message sent is 8/31, 2022 at 11:19 p.m.
And is there also within that conversation details an indication as far as number of messages over that time frame within this communication?
There is.
And what does it list for number of messages?
It's 38,707.
And fair to say the packet that you have before you does not contain all 38,707 messages, correct?
That's correct.
Uh-oh.
The first message.
We're cherry
that
picking
you had,
messages.
I believe alluded to in reference to the first one listed within this communication. What date and time is that?
That was January 29th, 2022 at 10:36 p.m.
And who is that message from?
My friend who lives in Tennessee.
And what, if anything, did he send to the group?
I need to brandish a gun more often.
And if you know, what is that in reference to?
He just recently moved to Tennessee, and he was kind of, I think, making a joke as kind of the lifestyle down there where guns are more prominent or more common to be carried around there. So I interpreted that as a joke in that nature.
And the next message, sir, from that same page, 2527.
The next one is it's bold.
And is there a name associated with that number that's in these?
No,
Do you know who that person is?
I don't.
You don't know who's in
And
your
the next
friends
message,
chat
sir,
group?
from 10:52 p.m.
Chip, name of that BPD cop.
And Chip, who is that referring to, sir?
That is one of my nicknames I've had since maybe high school.
Chip.
So a nickname that would be familiar amongst these group of friends in particular.
Yes.
And this time period when these text messages begin, sometime after 10:30 or 10:50 p.m. on January 29th, where are you and what are you doing in reference around that time period?
At this point in time, on the 29th, I'm home.
And that last text message, do you respond to that at approximately 10:53 p.m.?
Yes.
And what was your response?
John O'Keefe.
And the next message down from there, also at 10:53 p.m.?
Yes. He took custody of his sister's kids.
That's your response. There's another response above that, is that correct?
Yes.
And what does that say?
How old?
And you respond as far as he took custody of his sister's kids, correct?
Correct.
Skipping down a couple, do you see an entry at 10:53:49 p.m.?
Yes.
And that's from a 617 number, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is the response there?
Oh man, that's rough.
And following that, do you respond to the earlier query as far as age?
I do.
And what did you say?
Mid 40s.
Now, the next message below that, as far as indication of mid 40s, what is that?
His age.
No, I understand that. I'm sorry. The next message underneath that, sir.
I'm sorry. It's a Facebook link.
And do you recall what that Facebook link is to?
It's to John O'Keefe.
And is that something you sent or one of your friends sent?
One of my friends sent.
And the next message below, turning to now page 2529 at the top there. What is the next message that's sent?
What's that? Don't have the book anymore.
And as far as the book, what did you understand that to be?
Sure.
All right. Lawyer calls for sidebar. Make sure you mark that off on your bingo card, people. Lawyer calls for sidebar. Dun, dun, dun. Not sure why the lawyer's calling for a sidebar just yet, but they are. Now, okay, a few things I've noticed so far. There's a bajillion messages. Not all of these, was it 38,000 or whatever it was, are being introduced, which means the prosecution is cherry picking which ones they want to come in. They didn't introduce them all, just a few of them, the few they wanted to present, which whatever they're going to be showing indicates that there's also some things they really don't want to show. Those are the ones I'm interested in. I'm interested in the ones that they don't introduce. Let's see where this goes. I almost commented on Karen wearing the same clothes you wore yesterday. It's just the afternoon of yesterday. Sorry, Karen. Didn't mean to cast aspersions upon your fashion sense there. Let's see. Oh, looks like we're very, very close to Doggo Cam, actually. Looks like we're about $17 away. No, $13 away from Doggo Cam. Cool. All right. Not sure what's taking them so long. Just be patient. I'm patient. I got nowhere to go, so we'll sit down here and we can last longer than the sidebar does. We've got 500 people here and only 188 likes. Come on, people, get in there and hit that like button. Hit the like button. If you're just joining me for the first time, I would be grateful and I would be honored if you would do me the privilege of subscribing to the channel. So you're here, you're watching, so may as well do it. This is what we do. We cover trials and legal things and other stuff as I see fit. Maybe we can outwait this. I can always skip ahead forward if it's a ridiculously long amount of time or a break or something, but we'll let it sit here for just a second. Oh, and Sonny or Chris, who is already the Vice Racks of the day from the 10 gifted memberships, has now given us a $10 super chat. Let's go and cry havoc. Well, we're almost there. Thank you so much, Sonny or Chris. You're being a superstar today. Thank you very, very much. Hey Joe has tipped us over the edge with the $10. We need a doggo cam.
Break. Okay.
We're just in time for a 10-minute break already. Right out of the gate.
Doing all right.
Okay, let's see if we get Ceiling Dion here. For those of you that don't know, we have nicknamed the ceiling fan Ceiling Dion. Hey Joe, thank you so much. Officer Proctor, official Karen Reed trial womanizer with a
So do you have that copy for me?
with a super chat says, "Free the doggos, not Karen Reed." Harsh, but thank you so much. We are there. There's my buddy. There's Yoda scratching his face, and we have a Ceiling Dion sighting. That's our nickname for the ceiling fan, Ceiling Dion. So make sure you mark Ceiling Dion off on your bingo card if you're playing along at home. And why not? Let's make this a little more entertaining. We have unleashed Doggo Cam, and looks like we're only 90 away from punishment shot. All right. I don't think we need to watch the fan spin for 10 minutes, so we can fast forward through this break. Wow, he's really scratching away at it. Yeah. As you can see from Yoda, this is one of my two English bulldogs. For those who don't know, Strawberry, the other one is under the desk licking my ankle. But yeah, the vacation was a little rough for them. They didn't get the ointment. They didn't get outside much in the daylight, so they got a little eczema going here on the fur. So I got to put some ointment on after the show. That's the doggo cam there. All right, gonna scuttle on through the next 10 minutes here. Scrolling.
Yep. Well, Matt.
No. Go away. We don't care about you. We're not gonna advertise your shit. All right. Okay. This is another one of these longer than 10-minute breaks, clearly. All right, there we go. We'll watch from here. Are you going to make a video about the young thug lawyer calling out the judge being sketchy and the lawyer being found in contempt for 20 days? I made a comment about it at the beginning of this stream. Basically said it's insane. It's crazy. There's just far too much going on for me to do a separate video about it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but that was wild. Nick Starro Trial Watch has been covering the Young Thug trial since day one. And he didn't do it live yesterday. He was just planning on doing a recap. And like the one day he doesn't stream the trial, it really went to hell. So I feel kind of sorry for Nick Starro, who's been streaming that trial. All righty. Rare in History says the jury is made up of 10 women and okay, that's including the alternates. 10 women, 7 men. All right, so that means they've got 5 alternates. Island, you're a sweetie. Thank you so much. I missed your reactions. Glad you're back. Well, I'm glad to be back too. Vacation was nice. Being back is nice. Well, they're back in court. They're just not saying anything. Hello? Anybody out there? Hello? Yoda has his own cigar. Yoda munching on the bone. Oh, well, we did get the sidebar. So if you have downloaded or are just downloading or just generating your bingo card from the link there at chat, in addition to the free space, so far we have lawyer calls for sidebar and Ceiling Dion. Been there, done that. If you guys use the incognito mode, you may be able to sue Google. All right. Good thing I decided. All right, there we go.
You are Get the witness back, please.
Strawberry is just coming out from underneath the desk.
That's your mic, still on the oath?
Yes, sir.
Procedure on?
Yes.
Trooper, if I could direct you back to page 2529 within that packet before you.
Oh, we had a what if anything. I have become numb to what if anythings. My brain doesn't even hear what if anythings anymore. So apparently we need to mark off what if anything. I honest to God, I don't even hear him anymore.
Below that text stating what's that, I don't have the book anymore. You respond, is that correct?
Yes.
And what is it that you say there?
This one is a nightmare. Forget about the kids. That's awful.
And sir, if I could direct your attention again.
Okay. So showing concern
within
for the
that same
kids.
packet to 2532. And there's a message there sent at 10:56 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who's that from?
A friend who lives in Tennessee.
And what does he say in that text?
I'm sure the owner of the house will receive some shit.
And you respond at 10:56 as well as 10:57. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what is it that you respond?
My first response was nope. Homeowner is a Boston cop too.
And
Okay, yeah, we are getting into the bad stuff. It looks like this was specifically brought up during the defense's opening statement, where he was saying that they were protecting the Alberts, and that the Alberts weren't going to get in trouble because they're cops. You know, we're going to protect them. They're what you know. All right, we're off on a bad foot here. Adara, the wholesome of the $2 super chat. Judge is mad because of her Captain Kangaroo haircut. I've been calling it the 1978 blonde Freddie Mercury hair, but you know that works too. Captain Kangaroo works just as fine. Or Edgar Winter. Edgar Winter for you really olds here in chat.
what, if anything, were you saying, or what was the purpose of that text in regard to the homeowner?
I was just letting him know that essentially Mr. O'Keefe is a Boston cop and the homeowner was a Boston cop as well.
Now,
No,
if I could turn your attention to 2533.
no, you lying sack of shit. I was just letting no, nobody can believe that. He's a Boston cop too. Two means in addition to John O'Keefe. So if the Boston cop murdered John O'Keefe, it'd be okay because he's a Boston cop. No, you meant us and Albert. Us and Albert, not O'Keefe and Albert. Nobody believes that. No, dude.
And top of the page, sir, if you could read through that page as far as who's texting and what are they saying?
Again, for my friend from Tennessee and myself. I hope not, but I can't see it. I responded with, she waffled him. I looked at his body at the hospital.
She waffled
He was
him?
banged up.
Does that mean she ran over him?
Now, as far as the next text from a 781 number,
Mhm.
What does that say?
Did he get beat up?
And you responded to that, is that correct?
I did.
The objection sustained as to form.
What, if any, response did you provide to that?
What
Nope.
if any?
Objection, the objection was to the former question and the answer.
I'll strike it.
Thanks.
Now, turning your attention to 2534. And from this page, sir, if you could, again, just read through as far as indicating to the jury who's speaking and what is being said.
From the start of the first text, so the owner of the house.
Yes.
So the owner of the house was a woman cop that beat him. That's what I initially thought after talking to Canton paramedic. Then I saw the guy.
Okay, so there's the first time we're hearing that the people inside the house beat him. He said, well, that's what I thought until I saw him, I guess. But that's the first indication we have, and it's the prosecution that's introducing that he may have been beaten up in the Albert home.
And those last two are your responses, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, the following text messages are from your friends, is that correct?
Yes.
What do they say?
There, let's focus. What does she waffle to mean? What's the story? I responded, she hit him with her car.
And the she that you're referring to there, who is that?
Miss Reed.
Oh, so he's already decided, like very, very shortly after the incident, that Karen
Now,
waffled
turning your
him.
attention to the next page, 2535. Again, if you could start at the top of the page and read through that page and just indicate to the jury who is talking and what is being said.
Okay. My friend in Tennessee states, okay, that's fucked up. I respond, intentional or not. Then another response, gotcha. He was frozen in the driveway and she didn't see him, question mark. That's another animal we won't be able to prove. And then I respond, they arrived at the house together, gone to an argument.
Yes.
Anyone speak out loud or out of turn?
The objection's overruled.
Your Honor,
But
if I could say this, there needs to be an identifier of who's speaking.
I understand what you think the mix-up is. So, Mr. Lally, go back.
Thank you.
Sir, if you could please, again, start at the top of the page and just indicate.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Who said they were at the house? This is really wild. All right. We'll talk about this a little bit later. What? This is wild. Already.
Just after the gotcha, he was frozen in the driveway, correct, Mr. Jackson?
That's correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
I respond, that's another animal we won't be able to prove. I follow that up. They arrived at the house together, got into an argument. She was driving and left.
That was Proctor. Okay. Now we know Proctor wasn't at the house, but he said they arrived at the house together, got in an argument, she left. All right. Now that could mean one of two things. They arrived at the house, went inside, there was an argument and she left, or they arrived at the house together, there was an argument outside and she smashed him, she waffled him and took off. It could mean one of those two things, so we'll give him the benefit there.
A 781 number responds with, what's the name of the Canton cop living in Canton, the other one involved.
And how do you respond to that, sir?
There's several other messages before I issue a response.
Objection again. Bottom of the page.
So it's not an objection, but Mr. Lally, why don't you point him?
Well, there's nothing like legally
So, sir,
wrong
bottom
with
of page
discussing the
2535, you have
case
a
with
response,
friends.
is that correct?
unless they're like unless she's showing evidence or doing something else improper. It's bad form.
Correct.
And what is that response?
They arrived at the house together, got into an argument. She was driving and left.
Objection.
So it's going to be a matter you can address on cross.
There has to be some accuracy with the reading.
So I understand. So, Mr. Lally, why don't you go point for your witness?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes.
He's just like an Irish set or something. He's like points. Just points to where to look. All right, we got 622 people here and only 263 likes. Come on, people. Way less than half of you have done your job. Get down here and smash that like button because you like me. I know you do. Just do it anyway. Even if you hate me, just do me that. That's your payment.
Okay. It's a HTML link, whiteout / Proctor iCloud / group chat Feb 2022. So you point out.
So Lank is in the group. Very cool. His
Can I see what you have for a second, please?
friends in Tennessee and Lank.
Mr. Lally, it's on there. Why don't you go show your witness?
My other monitor went black.
Why don't you just read it, Mr. Lally, and tell us who you attribute it to?
Sure. So, sir, what I'm asking you about is the bottom of page 2535, 2535. You indicated biffed him, correct?
Correct.
What did you mean by that?
That Miss Rita struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
Biffed him, huh? Haven't heard anybody biffing someone for a while.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2537. Now, do you see a response toward the bottom of the page from yourself, January 29, 2022 at 11:04 p.m.?
Yes.
And can you read that response to the jury?
Yeah, but there'll be some serious charges brought on the girl.
And what did you mean by that, sir?
That throughout the course of the day, we had compelling evidence that Miss Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
What did you?
And you have two responses from friends, the same friends, at the bottom of that page, 2537. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And what are those responses?
Keep your voice up loud, please. Trooper Proctor, jurors can't hear you.
Yes, Your Honor. Number ending in 5051. Got to be. I can only imagine what internal affairs of the BPD are trying to get out there. The second response, same number. She hot at least.
And turning your attention to the next page,
That's
2538, at the top, if you could just
All right,
read.
mark off Judge Mike Sy on your bingo card. The judge likes to sigh. Now she's sighing at the prosecution. So, all right, mark off Judge Mike Sy on your bingo card.
Number series of responses from yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
Read from those, sir.
Yep. So these came from me. From all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. She's a whack job. CUNT.
Objection.
So don't spell it. You have to. So these are your words, Trooper Proctor.
Oh no! He was going third grader. And he spells it because he doesn't want to say it, just like I didn't spell it or say it. Dude, you put it down there. You got to read it. If you typed C.U. or C space or C-U, then you get to do that. You write the word, you got to say the word. But now would be a good time to mention this. Why is he doing this? Why on earth would he be doing this? Why is the prosecution putting their star witness, and for all intents and purposes, he is the star witness. He's the lead investigator. This is him. One reason and one reason only to get out ahead of this, because all of this is coming out on cross-examination. So he's got to get out in front of this to try to take as much of the sting out of it as possible. But yeah, it's kind of hard to take the sting out of calling the defendant that word, the C word, the flying C word. That ain't going to sit well, particularly with the 10 women on the jury. That's bad. So this, he knows it's coming out. Lally's got to try to get out in front of it, try to bring it out. He's got to do his best, but that's a good strategy, generally speaking, for the prosecution, but it comes with a very, very big drawback. And again, I haven't seen what happens later, but I'm calling my shot right now. On cross-examination, you're going to hear this and probably other texts again and again and again and again. So while you try to get out in front of it, you try to admit your witness has a problem before it's raised by the other side. It just allows the jury to hear it one more time when the defense brings it up a dozen or so during the cross-examination. So yeah, it's good. It's the only thing he's got. He's got to do it, but it just allows for more repeat. Oh man, not looking good, I'm afraid.
Toronto.
Go ahead and say them.
Cunt.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though.
Doe.
No ass.
Dumbass. Did you wait?
And sir, what is it that
Did you say dumbass?
you were?
No ass.
Oh, no ass. Oh, Jesus. That makes it
And sir,
worse.
what is it that you were referring to there? Or why would you text that?
These were, from all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. Is talking about the homeowner, Mr. Albert. I had mentioned the compelling evidence against Ms. Reed at this point indicated that Mr. Albert had nothing to do with Mr. O'Keefe's death. The rest of the
How the shit would you
unprofessional
know
and
that?
regrettable comments are something I'm not proud of, and I shouldn't have wrote in a private or any type of setting.
It's the apology tour. He's on the apology tour now. They're inappropriate, and I shouldn't have said them. You did said them, Proctor. And that was the most half-hearted, lame-ass apology I've heard in a great long while. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it. You never should have said them, but you did say them, and I have a feeling you said a lot more. So if you did regret it, you would say it maybe once or twice, maybe one or two things. Go, all right, this is inappropriate. I shouldn't be saying this. But if you just say it, and the only reason you're apologizing for it is because it's being brought up in trial to impeach your integrity as a witness, it's a little bit late for apologies. It's a little bit bad for the regret. What he needs to do is go completely off the script, go completely off the hook. He needs to stop, put his paper down, and look Karen Reed right in the eyes and say, that was a horrible thing for me to do. I sincerely apologize for these text messages. I'm taking full responsibility for the words I used, the words I chose. I regret saying them. I'm doing what I can. I'm getting help. I'm trying to be a better person. And I sincerely apologize for the pain and that I've caused you through my day. But of course, that's never going to happen, is it? Anything short of that is a lame ass attempt. We've already got him in just a couple of messages. I mean, if he hadn't, I was going to say before O'Keefe's body was cold, but it was cold because he was laying out in the snow for hours. Not long after he's dead, hours after he's dead, he's already calling her the C word, telling her saying she's got no ass. Oh my God. Oh, people, what have you gotten me into? What have you gotten me into here? I don't know what's going on. Tammy Simmons, what's up, Tanny? I called you Tammy again. Damn it. Tanny Simmons, what's up? Jeff, you got me cracking up reacting to the text. This is bad. This is bad, Tanny. It's bad. And Lancelot was 652. Can the judge sound any less pissed off when the defense does their job? Yeah, she could sound a lot less pissed when the defense is doing the job. This is the N-word play from OJ, right? No. I would say this is the lesson learned from the N-word in the OJ Simpson trial. We had Mark Furman, who said, I have never used the N-word. I would never use the N-word. And F. Lee Bailey looks him right in the eye and says, have you ever used this? No, I've never used it. So if we were to put a witness on this stand that said you had used the N-word at any point in the last 10 years, they would, by definition, be a liar. And he said yes. And then F. Lee Bailey proceeded to play audio recordings of him dropping the N-bomb 42 times. So I think the prosecutor's going, okay, we don't need another Mark. We don't need another Furman. We don't need to know the way home. Sorry, we don't need another Mark Furman. We need to get out ahead of this. We need to say he said the bad stuff before the other guy says he said the bad stuff. So this is the lesson learned from the Mark Furman O.J. Simpson testimony given some 29 years ago. Yeah, wow. Thank you very much for that, Quicks. And Island with the $5 super chat. Hasn't anyone in the house yet? Hasn't talked to anyone in the house yet? Hasn't found the tail light yet? Hasn't heard the NYE story yet? No com footage. No corn footage. Wow. No com footage. What compelling evidence? Exactly. All right. So there we go. Elsie Mara says, if he only prefaced this by admitting he's gay, then it would have been all right. Oh, it's, I really need to read all of these texts before. It seemed like it was going in a good direction, but I should have known, Elsie Merritt. I should have known better. It was a text from you. All right, let's get back into this. Because this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. I have a feeling it's going to get much worse.
Sir, at some point, if I could turn your attention to page 2540. And there's a photograph that's shared within this text communication. Is that correct?
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
And does it indicate who shared that photograph? On the prior page, possible.
The number ending in 5051.
And who is depicted in that photograph that was shared within the group text?
It's Miss Reed being escorted out of the state police Milton Barracks.
Oh,
And these are all from February 1st of 2022, around that time frame. Is that
ending
correct?
pictures
Yes.
of the defendant coming out of, oh dear. You're a mean one.
Now, sir, if I could direct you to page 2543. And sir, if I could direct you to the top of the page and ask you to read through that page, indicating who's speaking and what the content of those communications are.
Okay. Number ending in 4146. Question is that chick a smoke? Again, 4146 question mark. I respond EH. I respond again, not bag, as chief would say.
Not bag.
I also respond with she's got a leaky balloon knot, leaks poo.
Holy crap. Okay, that was a bad choice of words. Holy cow. Oh my God. It just got worse. It just got really, how do you get worse than the C word? This is how you get worse than the C word. Oh my God. Dude. She's got various medical conditions, and this is what you're saying? Oh God. Oh God. You got 10 women on the jury. If oh my God, people, if you had been on the fence as to whether or not she did it, but whether or not the jury is going to convict, get off the fence. Unless Jesus Christ himself descends in the second coming into this courtroom and points his finger and pronounces holy divine judgment against Karen Reed and lays out through a miraculous vision to all of the jurors that she did it and how she did it, she ain't getting convicted. I said that getting ahead of this and reading these texts was to prevent him from being the Mark Furman of the trial. I gotta say, that train has left the station. Oh my God. He is the Mark Furman of this trial. He is Mark Furman. He is this trial's Mark Furman. They're going to listen to him and go, I don't give a shit whether she did it or not. We're not going to side with this guy. This guy is bad. If we put her in jail, we are agreeing with what this guy says and does. Stop saying it gets worse. Oh God, oh my God. Yeah, this guy is the Mark Furman of the trial. I don't think the prosecution has presented any evidence that she's done this that I find credible, but it doesn't matter at this point. And I really need to go so I don't have to keep having Balloon Knot Leaks poo up there in the subtitles. Oh my God.
And what, if anything, is that in reference to?
Again, to Ms. Reed's some medical conditions there.
Oh my God.
Again, unprofessional comments I should not have made.
Dude, you're a fucking
that I'm not
monster.
proud of.
You're a fucking monster, dude.
As far as attitudes expressed within these text messages and other text messages, what, if any, impact did that have as far as your investigation was concerned regarding these?
These juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence.
Bullshit. In what realm of reality, in what dimension of the multiverse does anyone believe that's true? The lead investigator on a case that is only a couple of days old at this point is dropping stuff like that about a potential suspect? And they want us to think that he's going to treat her fairly? He's going to give her a fair investigation? He's not going to try to pin it on her. He's looking to see where the evidence leads? No. Oh my God. Oh. I feel like my reactions are like super cringe, but this is reality, people. Oh my God. I'll say it right now. In my 2 years of doing this, including the last half of the Johnny Depp trial with all of the happenings and the allegations regarding the broken Maker's Mark bottle, where she didn't know she'd been penetrated by a broken bottle that looked exactly like this. Yeah. This is worse. This is the worst thing. This is the worst bit of evidence. This is the worst bit of testimony. This is the worst bit of literally anything that has been introduced on my channel in the 2 years I have been doing this. It's official. This is the worst. Wow.
In the integrity of this investigation. They said these are unprofessional comments, but they absolutely do not detract from the integrity of the investigation or the facts and evidence of it.
Your Honor, may I approach this retrieve?
Yes.
While he's approaching, it's time. It's just time for me to take a little sip here. I can't not do this. Wow.
Now, Trooper
The
Proctor,
little red, the red solo.
seen within, we've seen text messages amongst yourself and a variety of different people
Variety.
from that same sort of iCloud area of your personal phone, correct?
Correct.
And among those, are there communications that you had with members of the Canton Police Department?
Yes.
And how would you characterize, or what was the general content of communications that you had with members of the Canton Police Department?
One communication was to coordinate interview times for firefighters and police officers and to set up a conference room where those interviews could be conducted. Obviously, the presence of Canton detectives or any police officers were not going to be sitting in on these interviews. Another communication was to inquire of relevant security videos that are in the area. Their local department, they know the area very well, so I reached out and asked if there's some good cameras in the area that I had of kind of interest in.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
May I bitch slap this witness? Wow. All right, we've got our like and subscribe poll, people. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, take our poll based on what you know so far.
I'm showing you another document, just asking if you recognize
What
that.
do you think the verdict should be? Guilty, not guilty, or I'm lame and can't make a decision?
So what do you recognize that to be, sir?
Text communications between my sister and I.
That's your sister Courtney, is that correct?
That's correct.
And similar to what I'd asked you about the prior packet, as far as a first message sent date and time, last message sent date and time, what is indicated on this first date?
First message sent date time, December 10th, 2021 at 9:33 p.m. Last message sent 8:30, 2022 at 8:48 p.m.
And 8:30, that's August 30th, is that correct?
I'm sorry, yes, August 30th, 2022.
And similarly to the other messages, is there an indication as far as how many number of messages were sent between yourself and your sister over that time period?
2,865.
And fair to say that the documents in front of you do not contain 2,865 messages?
Correct.
Now, just in reference.
Okay, again, he's got 2,865 messages here. He's got damn near 29,000 messages with his little group chat buddies. These bad ones he's pulling are cherry picked by the prosecutor to get out in front of this. I guarantee you, there are worse ones. There are worse texts that he doesn't want to get out, but he knows the defense lawyer is going to bring them up on cross-examination. So these are the good bad ones, not the bad ones. He's not going to bring up the bad ones. These are the good bad ones he's bringing up. There's more. There's more that he's not talking about that I'm sure Jackson is going to bring up on cross-examination.
Reference to the first message on page 2662, the first page in this packet. Do you see that from December 10th of 2021 at approximately 9:33 p.m.?
Yes.
And what does that indicate?
A text message from my sister.
And what does it say?
I called earlier, Dolph earlier, and mom was puking in the background.
And do you recall what that was in regard to?
From the sounds of it, my mother had the stomach bug.
Great. What a good son.
And sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2667. And these are text messages from January 29th, 2022, between yourself and your sister Courtney. Correct?
Correct.
And if you could read from the top of the page through the end, and please indicate to the jury as far as who's talking and who's saying what.
So I texted my sister at work, "What's up?" She responds, "What? Why?" I respond, "I just found a frozen to death on a front lawn in Canton this morning. Actually just interviewed Jen McCabe, said she knows you."
Oh.
And the knows you, who are you referring to?
My sister.
And how did your sister respond to that?
Cut the shit. I responded, "You." It was a typo correction with my response to you. She responded, "Yeah, she knows Jack very well. She's really good friends with Julie." My sister continues on. Her sister is married to Brian Albert. My sister asks, "You still working?" ? I says, "Yeah, going to be out for a while. Homicide."
And as far as your answers to those questions, or as far as your communications that you had with your sister at this time on the afternoon of January 29th, what were those in regard to, or why were you communicating that to your sister?
At that time, it was just kind of in the news. I was just kind of letting her know I was out working. She didn't share anything specific. I wouldn't share anything specific on cases with my family or anyone. It was just kind of an overall innocent conversation.
Now, turning your attention to the next page, 2669. Again, if you could read from that page as far as who was talking and what the content is.
All right. My sister starts off, "The Canton thing is a homicide." I respond, "This is at 3 in the afternoon on the 29th. Don't say a word to anyone." She said, "Of course not." I respond, "In the very least, it's suspicious." She responds, "This is your livelihood." And then I would never miss with that. 3:07, I respond, "Julie and Chris were at the bar with the victim and girlfriend. Got to interview them."
I'd like to direct your attention to page 2672.
Woof. Wow. What a dirtbag.
These are messages from February 1st, 2022. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the one at the top starts about February 1st, 5:57 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
And again, if you could read through as far as who's speaking and what the content of those.
Oh, there's more.
I texted my sister, "What's up?" She responded, "Nothing. I just saw Julie, and she said when this is all over, she wants to get you a thank you gift." And I respond, "Get Elizabeth one." Elizabeth's my wife.
Whoa. Time. It's time out here. I want to get you a thank you gift. Thank you for what? Thank you for what, Proctor? When all of this is over, I want to get you a thank you gift. Thank you for drawing fire. Thank you for diverting attention. Thank you for making a really bad situation go away. That kind of thank you gift, Proctor. Whether it is or not, that's what it looks like. He's sending the shit to his sister, his wife, his buddies, who the hell ever's in this group. Oh my God. Dude, there may be an addition to the Fed's federal investigation into this prosecution. There might be another target of that investigation.
My sister responds, "Because I guess her and Chris were friends with John, and she's so proud of you for leading this." And then she writes, "Elizabeth ? I respond with, "She's been stuck with the kids for the last 10 nights. My sister responded with, "Yeah, but she knew what life is like married to a cop."
And sir, as far as the gift that's mentioned as far as Julie Albert, is that anything that you have received at any point in time?
I never received a gift. I never asked for a gift. My wife never received a gift. She never asked for a gift.
Okay, that's a very important distinction. I never asked for a gift. I never got one. My wife never asked for a gift. My wife never got one. But a gift was offered for something, Proctor. There's some reason that just randomly out of the blue that someone who's very, very important to this trial offers you a gift when all of this is done. Whether you asked for it or whether you got it or not, it was offered to you for a reason.
How would you describe this context of this conversation, or why that's being discussed at this time?
Again, I don't know the thought process of my sister and Julie as far as bringing that idea into of a gift into play.
Thank you.
Like I said, I didn't ask one. I never received one. The same with my wife.
Sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2676.
Oh my God. And these are the ones the prosecutor wants us to see.
And again, if I could ask you to start at the top of the page and read through and just indicate as far as who is saying, who is speaking and what they're talking.
I start out, we write like 8 to 12 warrants on each case. My sister responded, no, I have no idea what the hell you do or how it works. I responded on the 10th at 7:36 p.m. I'm starving, but I also just want to go home. Thanks, though. My sister responds, yeah, but is dinner going to be waiting? She responded with, ha, ha, ha. And then I responded, yep. And then my sister responded with, okay, it's fine. Mom and I just don't want to go home.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Oof.
Mhm.
Jennifer said he needs to go to jail and get his own leaky knot. Yeah.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thanks, Jennifer. And Quicks with the $1.99. Integrity, doing what is right when no one is watching. Yeah, which did not happen here at all. Exactly, Yod. Exactly, Strawberry.
Another document, sir. Do you recognize that?
Exactly, Strawberry.
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize that?
This is private messages between my wife and I.
Again, what is your wife's name?
Elizabeth.
And what, if anything, does that indicate as far as dates and times and number of messages involved?
Okay, so the first message sent 5/20/2022 at 6:19 p.m. The last message sent 8/31/2022 at 9:16 p.m.
And what, if any, indication does it give as far as number of messages within that text chain?
1,632.
And of those 1,162, there's one message that's listed on that. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what is the date and time of that message, and what does it say, and who's speaking?
This is me speaking on June 9th, 2022 at 4:56 p.m. I text my wife, waiting to lock this whack job up.
And what are you referring to in that text, sir?
I'm referring to the arrest after Ms. Reed was indicted by the grand jury.
And again, as far as the terminology that you use in that text message.
So he presumes she's going to be indicted by the grand jury. Of course, if you go in front of a grand jury, there is a ridiculously high chance that you're going to be indicted. But he's just waiting to lock her up because he knows, as the lead investigator, what he's put in that report that's going to cause the grand jury to indict her.
Message to your wife. Why is it?
Again, unprofessional messages I should not have sent.
Could he sound any less sincere? And sorry, some more of these unprofessional stuff. How many unprofessional things can you apologize for before you just have to apologize for being unprofessional? Everything's, it was unprofessional. He shouldn't have said it. But you did, and you said shit like this again and again and again and again and again and again. This isn't indicative of a few improper statements. This is indicative of an improper person, an unprofessional person. This is your character, buddy. And considering your character, and considering the weight to give your testimony, considering your integrity and truthfulness and honesty is a huge part of what the jury does.
I don't have an explanation other than they're regrettable and it's something I'm not proud of, the language I use.
I approach the retriever.
You're
Yes.
not proud of it because you got busted, cheeky.
So, Trooper Proctor, the jurors can't hear you. So speak directly into your
The jurors
microphone the
can't
way
hear
I'm
you.
doing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. While he's doing that, Taz, justice for John and Karen. Okay, I do want to stop this here because this is a very important thing. We're talking about Karen Reed as a defendant here. We're talking about how it looks, at least to me, like there's some shady stuff going on. There's some corruption here. There's some serious problems with the police department and the prosecutor's office. That's what we've been focusing on. But there's also a dead guy. There's also a dead person. Don't forget John O'Keefe in this. If all of this stuff, let's say she's being framed. Let's say this is a setup. This is a cover-up. She's been framed for this. That means that John O'Keefe's real killer has not been brought to justice. If she's been set up, if she's been framed, there is no justice for John O'Keefe. In the alternative, if she did it, if she hit him and in a moment of panic drove away, which is only at best negligent homicide, not second-degree murder. Or, okay, let's even give him second-degree murder. She meant to smash him. She meant to waffle him. She just said, oh, see you later, you scumbag, and then backed up into him and knocked his ass in the snow and left him there to freeze to death. Let's say she did that. If she's found not guilty, even though she did it, because of the lame prosecution and because of the shenanigans of Proctor and other investigators, there is no justice for John O'Keefe. Let's say on another alternative, she didn't do it and she's found guilty for whatever reason in whatever realm of the multiverse. She did it. She didn't do it and she's found guilty. The wrong person has been convicted and there is no justice for John O'Keefe. Let's not forget John O'Keefe in this and justice for him. The only scenario where there's justice for him is if she did it and if the prosecution proves she did it beyond a reasonable doubt, which seems very, very slim on both prongs of that test. Dang. Stephanie H with the $2. Thank you for not mentioning Colin, her son. Right. Colin Albert, her son. A relation to the Alberts where the body was found. Scory with the £2. How did this make it to trial? I don't know. I have no idea. Z with the £2. Elizabeth Proctor says she's proud on Insta story. Oh dear. All right. Well, yeah. Well, if she is someone DM me the link to that Insta on Twitter, and we'll look at it after we finish this here today. Thank you so much, Z. And we've got Chris Albert. Why did I say Chris Albert? I meant Pastor Flash. I have no idea where Chris Albert. Who the hell's Chris Albert, and why did I confuse him with Pastor Flash? Pastor Flash. Sorry about that. That was weird. Member for 7 months. Everything that guy just said is bullshit. You mean this?
Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
Thank you.
Yep. And Chloe Albert's Revenge. What's up, Chloe Albert's Revenge? Peace to Chloe Albert, the German Shepherd, who's enjoying retirement from the Albert home on a nice little farm somewhere in upstate Vermont. Wink, wink. Definitely a descendant of the original New England Proctor douchebags. What wasn't one of the characters in the Scarlet Letter a Proctor? And we'll jump back into it right here after this. Anton Ivanov. Lally should have sat down with the O'Keefes and profusely apologized, saying they can't prosecute because Proctor screwed up everything. I don't disagree with you. It was The Crucible. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I know it was one of those books. It was The Crucible. And Fundine, a member for 20 months. Proctor is as proper as the balloon gift sent to South Korea by North Korea, and about as full. Yes, for those of you that don't know, I live in South Korea, and for the past couple of weeks, North Korea has been sending across filth balloons full of excrement and things like that. All right, let's see where this goes. This is nuts. Duncan, Idaho, member for 15 months, 4% so far saying guilty is crazy. Everything was wrong and crooked with this investigation, and this guy is the festering boil at the center of it. Correct. And Taz, who's been a member for 2 months. Thank you, Taz. Appreciate that.
Okay.
All right. We got another sidebar coming. Holy cow, people. And I did forget to mention that Caldrak is a new member. Caldrak is our newest member of the Clean and Sober crew. Caldrak, if you're still here, thank you so much for your support. I apologize for not mentioning that earlier. It was about a half hour ago. And Lisa Marie has now that I said that, Lisa Marie has now become the newest member of the Legal Vices Clean and Sober tier membership. All right, we got 930 people here watching this absolute train wreck of a testimony. Thank you for being here. We still only have less than half of you have hit that like button. You know you like this trial. You know you like Proctor's testimony. You like hate. If you like his testimony, I got issues. You got issues, and I got questions about you. But you hate like it, and hey, I'm semi-entertaining at least. Hit that like button, folks, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I would be deeply honored if you would subscribe to the channel. Take a chance on me. It's free and it costs nothing. Z with another £2. Could they charge
Unneeded.
Rico? What would penalties be? Rico on cops.
Now, Trooper Proctor, you're familiar with conversations
Theoretically,
within the same text communications from your personal phone with colleagues of yours at the state police?
Yes.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Oh, good. To his wife about this, saying horrible things to his sister about her, saying horrible things to his wife about her, saying horrible things to his friends about her, and now he's talking to his colleagues and telling them bad things about her? Oh, dear. Oh, my. I think we've reached the punishment shot. I have to do some math here, peeps. Oh, it looks like we're about maybe 40-ish away from having to do a punishment shot. Oh, good. But we're close, I think.
May I have a moment with counsel?
Okay.
Oh, the lawyers have to consult with each other. Chloe Albert's revenge. This cop would run you down and not render aid. Dick. No, well, if you were one of his buddies, he might. But oh my gosh. All right, we've got a problem. What's going on behind the scenes? I assume they're just talking about what horrific texts are going to be shown next. Yes, we are 35 away from the punishment shot of Korean whiskey. 35 away. Oh dear.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Yes.
You went on the document, sir. Before I get into that, though, if I could turn your attention back to some comments on the language used in the January 29th and February 1st or 2nd text communications among your friend group. With reference to that particular time frame and the language that you used, what sort of information have you gathered to that point, and why would you say or use that particular language particularly in your descriptions of the fact?
So this was, 16, 18 hours later, and I conducted multiple interviews.
Speak up.
Conducted multiple interviews. We knew Mr. O'Keefe never went into Fairview Road. We knew there was one shoe at the scene.
Why does it sound like he's speaking at 1 billion miles an hour?
One shoe at the hospital.
Okay, for some reason that was on high speed, and I didn't even realize it. All right, that's kind of weird. Okay, this is an interesting thing that's going on right here, right now. He's being asked to explain the texts that are about to be read. This is how bad they are. He's being asked to explain them before they're read. And of course, he's making up his excuse. But the one thing I wanted to point out here is as much as this judge seems to hate Yannetti and the defense team, she doesn't like this guy at all. She doesn't like this guy. She's being very, very curt with him. Speak up. She didn't do the usual, please remember to speak up and speak into the microphone. Move the microphone a little bit closer because it's very hard to hear you. The court clerk can't hear you. And if you don't speak up, we're gonna have to turn off the air conditioning and the fan so we can hear better. She's just like, speak up. She knows this guy's a dirtbag and she doesn't like him. Oof. And Chantal Caesar says, is it odd that the prosecution and defense conferred like that? No, not really. What could they be conferring on about what they're going to bring up next, and just kind of get some agreement on what order things are going to happen, stuff like that. It's not that uncommon. Oof. All right. Here we go.
Based off Mr. O'Keefe's injuries, Ms. Reed's statements when Sergeant Buchanan and I interviewed her, her broken taillight, the missing taillight, some taillight pieces found at the scene, the compelling evidence pointing.
Oh, this is interesting. I'm going to go back. We need to hear this again. He's using this question to literally lay out every piece of evidence that they have against her. You're hearing all of the good stuff they have to assume that she's guilty and to continue their investigation of her as the suspect and future defendant. This is what they got. So this is, how do you defend these statements you're making about her as far as like, her guilt and getting her, we're waiting for her to get arrested. We're waiting for the grand jury to indict her. He's asking him to justify these statements. So here is everything that the prosecution has, basically. This is a pretty clever strategy for the prosecution to ask this question in a way that allows him to lay all the prosecution's cards on the table. Let's see what they are.
That particular language particularly in your descriptions of the defendant.
So this is, 16, 18 hours later, and I conducted multiple interviews.
Speak up.
Conducted multiple interviews. We knew Mr. O'Keefe never went into Fairview Road. We knew there was one shoe at the scene, one shoe at the hospital. Based off Mr. O'Keefe's injuries, Miss Reed's statements when Sergeant Buchanan and I interviewed her, her broken taillight, the missing taillight, some taillight pieces found at the scene, the compelling evidence pointing directly at Miss Reed that she struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle led me to make those.
Well, first of all, so that's it. That is the prosecution's case right there, summed up in that, maybe 15 seconds, 15, 20 seconds. That's all they got. And that weird little thing at the end, plus all of the compelling evidence that points to her. What compelling evidence would that be? And by the way, bud, it's the jury who will decide whether that evidence is compelling or not. Yeah, it's not you that decides whether it's compelling. It'll be the jury.
Those comments, whether, like I said, they weren't professional comments, but based on the day's investigation, it was clear that Miss Reed had struck Mr. O'Keefe with their vehicle.
Sir, if I could turn your attention to the documents before you, do you recognize those?
I do.
And as far as the participants in that particular conversation, who are the participants listed there?
It's Trooper David DeChico and myself.
And Trooper DeChico and yourself both work within the same unit with the state police, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, two things here. One, mark off, where is it? Mark off the siren outside of court on your bingo card, siren outside of court. And now he's in text messages with people he works with, other police officers. Again, I don't know where this is going, but I'm pretty certain they're not going to be going, dude, that's pretty damn inappropriate. Stop saying shit like that in your text to us. I'm pretty sure they didn't say that, which I can only take to mean as tacit approval and agreement with what he's saying, which shows the depth and seriousness of the improprieties, unprofessionalism, and perhaps corruption of the police department.
And beyond the professional relationship you have with yourself, between yourself and Trooper DeChico, how would you characterize your relationship, generally speaking?
We're buddies, we go off together, hang outside of work, our kids play together. So I'd say, we're friends.
Now, within again, as far as the first message sent, date and time, and last message sent, date and time within this conversation, if you could describe that for the jury.
First message sent, date and time, March 17th, 2022, 11:08 a.m. Last message sent, date and time, August 18th, 2022, 6:08 a.m.
And again, the number of messages listed within this text chain?
87.
And fair to say the documents before you do not contain 87 text messages, correct?
That's correct, sir.
Now, just in general terms, if you have an opportunity to just look at the first couple pages there, fair to say those are just sort of jokes that you have going back and forth between yourself and Trooper DeChico. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Now, if I could turn your attention specifically to page 2632. And these are text messages starting on April 28, 2022 at 10:52 in the morning. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what was the time again, sir?
April 28, 2022, 10:52 a.m.
Yes, correct.
And again, sir, with reference to this page, if you could read the content to the jury and please indicate whom is speaking at each respective times.
Okay. I start out without a doubt. He's got diarrhea of the mouth too. Trooper Chico, rookie move, not going into a meeting with the ME and getting that homicide determination.
Whoa. One, he's got diarrhea of the mouth, and one, the dude didn't go to the medical examiner, and he didn't compel her to come back with basically a murder diagnosis. Oh my God. He didn't. He's calling this guy out. He's putting this guy on blast for not getting the homicide determination from the medical examiner. They were pushing, this indicates to me they were pushing the medical examiner to come back with a homicide determination, which means one, she didn't do it. She came back with some other determination. And two, seems a little improper.
I respond, Yuri and I had 2 conference calls with her, sent her numerous photos, etc. We laid out the entire case for her. Trooper,
Wait, okay. I apologize. I was incorrect. This is the other dude putting him on blast for making fun of him for not getting not convincing the medical examiner to come back with a determination of homicide. And he's like, hey, I sent her all the pictures. I called her twice. And we had these conferences. I did my best to convince her to come back with a determination of homicide in her medical report, but I failed. I got nothing. Wow.
Chico responds, not good enough. Should have had me or Jeff do it. I respond,
Keep my
if you
name
two did it,
out
she
your
would have made it
fucking mouth.
accidental or natural causes.
Oh
If you two
no.
did it, she would have made it accidental or natural causes.
So they're throwing this shit back and forth. You blew it, pal. You didn't. Coffee is for closers. You didn't close the deal. You didn't persuade the medical examiner to come back with homicide. He's like, hey, we sent her pictures, we sent her texts, we had conferences with her. We did our best to get this homicide determination. And the other guys are going, well, you should have let us do it. It's like, well, yeah, if you guys would have done it, it would have come back natural causes. Oh dear.
And can you explain the context of those communications, or what exactly is it that you and Trooper Chico are talking about?
We're talking about persuading the medical
So
examiner.
the ME is the medical examiner.
Homicide.
They conducted the autopsy of Mr. O'Keefe. Our office, it's kind of a little bit of a locker room.
Hold on, wait for the ambulance and then speak up.
Wait for the
Because you're
ambulance
behind me,
because
way
your
back where the court
soul
officer's
is
standing.
in it. Here comes the ambulance to pick up the remains of his dead, cold soul.
So like I said, the ME stands for medical examiner. They conducted the autopsy of Mr. O'Keefe. I guess I'll address the conference calls Sergeant Buchanan and I had with the medical examiner. The doctor had some questions as to the facts and evidence, kind of what had transpired, which is common. You know, even if it's a homicide, I've had many calls with the medical examiner's office, even if it's a suicide or overdose, always with a homicide, the doctor wants to know what transpired. Trooper Chico and myself, we kind of like to bust each other's chops, go back and forth. So that's what he meant by saying, rookie move, not going into a meeting with the ME and getting that homicide determination. The original determination came back.
Sustained. Next questions.
Oh, that's interesting. The defense doesn't want him to read what the original conclusions were. I wonder why, and I want to know what they are. Oops, wrong button there.
Now, as far as attending the autopsy, is that
No.
something that typically someone within your office would do, within your unit would do with regard to any sort of death investigation?
Yes.
And do you know who attended the autopsy of Mr. O'Keefe in this specific case?
Trooper Connor Keefe.
And so as far as Trooper DeChico's reference to you not going in, or Sergeant Mechanic not going in, is that what you believe Trooper DeChico was referring to in that message?
Objection.
Sustained as to the form.
You indicated that you and Trooper DeChico bust each other's chops. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And can you describe a little more, expound upon that as far as the nature of your relationship and sort of the text messages that you exchange in this and any other communications that you have?
Basically just, kind of needling each other, and him doing that is by saying, texting me, rookie move, not going into meeting with the medical examiner. So that's a perfect example of him kind of just needling me, which we do on a daily basis.
And as far as your interpretation of that, did you interpret that as a serious comment or something said in jest?
I interpreted that as a typical joke from Trooper DeChico.
May I approach to retrieve?
Yes.
No, there is no court today. Today is a day off for the court. That's why we're doing this. So, okay, he is making the argument. This is a little professional humor. This is a little dark humor, banter back and forth between. That's a thing. Lawyers, doctors, cops, firefighters, people that deal with a lot of horrific issues. We do tend to have a really dark sense of humor, but there's a lot of truth in humor.
May I approach him?
Yes.
So we have another document asking, do you recognize that?
Yes.
Do you recognize that?
Text messages between myself and Trooper DeChico.
And again, what is the first message sent, date and time, last message sent, date and time, and number of messages contained therein?
First message sent, date and time, April 28th, 2022 at 1:09 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, April 28th, 2022, 4:45 p.m.
And the number of messages, sir?
4.
And if you could read the contents of those messages contained therein. Please indicate who's speaking.
So I start out, of course, it's undetermined. She was a whack job.
Slow blink. Okay, so the cause of death was undetermined.
Trooper DeChico responds, "Dear God, WTF, what the hell is inconclusive about the whole thing?"
All right, so we do know that
And as far as your indication there, as far as
that the medical examiner came back with a determination that the cause of death was inconclusive. We got it through the back door, so to speak. Wow. And Jonathan Drennan with the $10 super chat says defense doesn't want the cause of death coming in from anyone other than the ME, so Lally is forced to call the ME to prove John O'Keefe's death. And the defense can cross on actual cause of death from state experts not being homicide. That sounds very, very reasonable. I have no arguments with that. But again, we did get informally through this series of text messages that the cause of death appears to have been inconclusive, not homicide, inconclusive. Duncan Idaho with $5 reminds me of the quote from the 1982 Blade Runner movie. You know the score. If you ain't cops, you're little people. Best Blade Runner movie. But I didn't mind that. Anyway, we won't get off on that tangent. Equality, also demonetization fund. Thank you so much, Equality. We're clearly going to need it. Yeah, we're clearly going to need it after a few C bombs and some R bombs and Equality has also been a member for 6 months. Bev hates Proctor. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's clear she dislikes this guy. It might be the only thing I agree with her. Missed you, Jeff. Missed you too, Equality. Whew. All right, let's get back to this. Why do I keep doing that? Just push.
she was a whack job. Who are you referring to there?
Miss Reed.
Yeah, Miss Reed's a whack job. That's a great thing to put out there.
Now, as far as the undetermined of what you're talking about, what is sort of the content or the context of this conversation?
That would be the manner of death was determined to be undetermined by the medical examiner's office.
And so I ask you again, as far as your reference there in the bottom of the first page, as far as she was a whack job, whom do you believe you're referring to there?
Again,
Reed or the medical examiner?
Miss Reed.
Yep, that was my question, and he just answered. He
Yeah,
was talking
Proctor.
about Karen.
Yes.
See, I thought he was calling the medical examiner a whack job too. That's what I thought. That's why I had the question. So I'm kind of in that camp. I think he was calling the medical examiner a whack job.
Liar!
He's just too dumb to realize who he was calling a whack job. I wouldn't disagree with that either. Uh-oh. We're like $10 away from the punishment shot. Wow. Ooh. We're not doing so hot on the bingo card, but oh my God, on just the spiciness of it, we're more than making up for it. This ain't good. And again, these are the text messages that the prosecutor has cherry picked to get out in front of whatever's going to happen on cross-examination. Cross-examination, I'm guessing, is going to be much, much worse. These are the good bad texts that the prosecutor wants us to see, not the bad texts that the defense wants us to see. Oh, and Noel Preston with the $5. I haven't been able to watch. Legal Vices, what is the most compelling thing you've heard from both the defense and the prosecutor in your opinion? Honest to God, from the prosecutor, nothing. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being extremist. I'm not, fanboying for the defense. Nothing. I have heard nothing compelling from the prosecution. Not a single thing. From the defense. The most compelling things I've heard is the testimony that's elicited on cross-examination of shit like this. Of how everybody is related, and you've got the text message saying, hey, don't worry, the homeowner who's a cop, who had the other dead cop on his front lawn, don't worry, he's not in trouble because he's a cop. Things like that. I mean, oh my God. Thank you so much, Noel Preston, for that. That's a good question. Literally nothing. Duncan Idaho says, shit. The Wire is one of the greatest television shows in television history. Ozzy Overlaw says, drink up. Oh, come on, people. Stop. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Now we've got some problems. We got 1,000 people here and 562 likes, and things are about to go even more pear-shaped than normal. Megan Hunter, RRT. See, look at that. Look at that sweet, innocent face there in the profile picture. But she's saying, drink up, drink. Thank you so much for that as well. And Blue Var, stop, people. 10, drink. Oh, well, stop. Don't stop. Keep stopping. But Sebastian Mueller has just taken over as the Vice Racks of the day with 20 Legal Vices gifted memberships. That gets a serious foghorn. Thank you so much for that, but that causes problems, and we'll explain that why here. We'll do this a little bit more, then we'll take care of it, and we'll explain all of this at a break. Thank you so much, Sebastian Mueller. Thank you so much for everyone else that's doing this. You guys are insane. Let's get back to this. We don't want to break the stride here. Hit the subscribe button, folks. We're going in deep. And while this is happening, I will be right back. Let's listen to him. Let's watch him look at papers. I'll be right back. All right, we've missed nothing. As I said, if we ever get to the $200 super chat or membership mark, we do a punishment shot. My punishment, I don't know why I call it a punishment shot, but it's Gi1 whiskey. This is the first Korean whiskey that's made from Korean raised.
I take just a second for pencil.
Okay, from Korean raised barley. It's distilled in Korea, aged in Korea, and it ain't great. It ain't really good. So,
On this packet.
okay, they're approaching again. The judge. So this is a 2-ounce red Solo cup shot glass. So we fill it half full and we do the 200 thing here. Still, I was going to say, hey, it's not as bad as it used to be. It's not as bad as I remember, but it is. It's still nail polish remover. But also on this little break here, because you rascally kids, you meddling kids, we're doing something we have never had to do here. The idea was, if in one day that I'm watching, Lally does 100 what if any's. And by the way, we're up to almost 1,700 what if any's that Lally has done during the course of this trial. So if he does 100 in one day that I'm watching, or if we get to the $300 super chat level, for some stupid reason, the reason I said it is because I didn't think it would ever happen. A double shot of actual real absinthe. There's a difference between the star anise flavored vodka that most people think is absinthe and real distilled absinthe, which uses the grand wormwood, which is the thing that's in it, that the Artemisias absinthium, I believe, is the Latin word for this. This is a double shot. We filled, if you can see the green, yeah, there you go. You can see we filled this 2-ounce cup with a double shot of just straight non-diluted absinthe. I hate you guys. I hate you guys, but I love you. Oh man, Green Fairy during cross is going to be lols. Praise the Green Fairy. No sugar, no water, just See, this is the dangerous thing. Real absinthe doesn't taste horrible like the flavored vodka. It actually tastes really good and is kind of smooth, but it's burning its way down. All right. And just for giggles, while I was on vacation, I purchased a breathalyzer. I purchased a breathalyzer just for giggles. So somebody remind me 20 minutes from now to check my BAC here. Let's do this. Set an alarm for 20 minutes. All right. So we'll check the BAC here in 20 minutes just for giggles. All right, people. Let's see how we're doing on the poll. We put up the poll a while ago, and I know it was going to be something like this, but I'm surprised that it's actually where it is. The like and subscribe poll is where you hit the like button, you subscribe to the channel, or double check to make sure you're still subscribed, and then you vote on our little daily poll we do here to remind you to like and subscribe based on what you know so far. What do you think? Not what do you think the jury will do? What do you think the verdict should be? 91% of you say not guilty. 6% of you say guilty.
You are unmuted.
The 6% of you, I guess, well, 6 out of 100, interesting. And 4% of you say I'm lame and can't make a decision.
Yes.
They're handing you another set of documents. View those, look up when you're finished.
Sebastian
Do you
Muller,
recognize
we have
those,
to
sir?
place you on the
Yes, I
banner as the
What do
vice
you recognize those to be?
Another text thread between myself, Trooper DeChico, and Trooper Kukowski.
And Trooper Kaskowski is another trooper within your unit in the state police, is that correct?
Yes.
And again, if you could read from the first message sent, date and time, and the last message sent, date and time.
First message sent, date and time, 5/24/2022, 9:21 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, 8/24/2022, 4:56 p.m.
And as far as the number of messages indicated within this text chain between yourself, Trooper Kakowski, and Trooper DeChico,
494.
fair to say the documents before you do not contain 494 text messages, correct?
Correct.
Just in reference to that first page 2635, first message sent, that's May 24th, 2022, around 9:21 p.m., is that correct?
Yes.
And that's a message sent from Trooper Kaskowski, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is that?
Appears to be a picture of a toy Santa Claus.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2644. If I could direct you to the bottom of the page, sir, and see the text from yourself at June 9th, 2022 at 11:19 p.m.
Yes.
Very bottom of the page. And Your Honor, may I approach just to point it out?
Yes.
Yeah, I see it, sir.
Okay, he found it. Doesn't have to approach.
Okay.
If you could read what you
Absolutely.
wrote on June 9th, 2022, around that time, sir.
If you like women who shit themselves.
Oh my Christ on a cross. Dude. All right. Dude. That is utterly beyond the pale. Oh, come on. This is a message he was sending to his fellow officer. And again, I'm assuming that the fellow officer didn't go, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Don't ever say shit like that again. And if he didn't, that shows this is standard operating procedure. This is how these people treat the citizenry. This is how they treat the people of the United States that they're sworn to serve and protect. Okay, I didn't see that coming. That the leaky balloon knot or whatever the hell that was earlier. That was crass. This is just beyond the pale. And I said it earlier with the balloon knot thing. Regardless of what the prosecution is able to prove, I think it's done on that alone. On the balloon knot thing. This is a whole nother level. I have no idea how the prosecution expects to get a conviction with this. Nobody is going to support this guy. Nobody in their right mind would throw their vote behind this guy's detective work. I mean, I'm not joking. And I said this earlier, and now I'm doubling down because he doubled down. This is the worst testimony I've ever seen in 2 years of doing this YouTube stuff. No joke, no hyperbole. This is the worst I've seen. We had the Taylor business trial, for God's sake, where her and her boyfriend did drugs and decided to have a little bit of schmexy time. And he decided he wanted to be the sub first, and she wrapped the chain around his neck, choked him out. I mean, they did marijuana, meth, and trazepam, I believe it was. They had this drug-fueled cocktail, and she choked him out and decided that, hey, as long as she started choking him, she may as well continue choking him out just to see what it's like to kill somebody. Then she chops up his body, leaves body parts scattered about the house, a leg in her roommate's van, and pleasures herself for a few hours after, with her boyfriend's dead body, pleasures herself for a few hours after his death, and performs various acts on his member for about 3 hours after his death, and then chops up his member and cuts off his head and leaves him in a bucket at the bottom of the stairs for his mother to find. This is worse than that, because that was a bad fact pattern. That was just a horrible human being. This is the police doing this. This is and if you want to watch the Taylorship business trial, we've got the entire 4 or 5 days of the Taylorship business trial in a playlist somewhere on my channel. This is worse. This testimony is worse. I said that was the worst police report I've ever read. This is the worst thing I've actually seen on testimony, without a doubt. I got to admit that took me off guard a little bit, people. Holy crap. Jessica Lynn, member for 1 month, says they were out to get her from the start. Credibility gone. No question. Done. This is it. It's self-checkout. It's checkout time. The fat lady has sung. The chickens have hatched. This ship has sailed. Red Solo cup, you mean evidence cup? Yes, this is my miniature evidence collection cup. You gotta love the USA. I saw this and I was so excited. I bought a package of them. First Korean whiskey. Oh wow, and yeah, it's the first attempt. Give it a few more years, it might be good. And Legal Vices, can I get a shout out for my wife's 45th birthday, Mrs. Swamp Bear X? Happy 45th birthday to you. I'm sorry this is the context you have to celebrate your birthday in. But happy birthday, I guess. Why are you asking me to shout out your wife's birthday in the middle of this? Happy birthday, Mrs. Swamp Bear X. Thank you for bringing a little light, a little ray of sunshine into this horrific testimony. And stop saying it gets worse, chat. How does it get worse than this? How does it get worse than this?
Again, sir, what is it that you're referring to there?
Again, a regrettable comment I made about Miss Reed's medical condition.
Now, if I could direct you to the following page, 2645. And again, if you could read from that page as far as who is, indicate to the jury who is speaking and what is being said on page 2645.
I'm speaking right now. The statement she made tonight at 8/7 was mental. Thank Christ it was on BWC, which is body worn camera. Trooper Kukowski responds, that's her. Smoke. Trooper Kukowski again, what'd she say? I respond, said the Alberts beat the shit out of O'Keefe, left him for dead, and that's why her taillight was cracked. She.
Let's back that one up. Did you guys catch that?
Again, what'd she say? I respond, said the Alberts beat the shit out of O'Keefe, left him for dead.
I respond. He responds. The Alberts beat the shit out of O'Keefe and left him for dead. We can read it right here for once. The closed captions are correct. I respond, said the Alberts beat the shit out of O'Keefe and left him for dead. That, as you kids used to say, is self-ponage right there. He's saying in the text message that the Alberts beat the shit out of O'Keefe and left him for dead. Well, that helps the defense a little bit. I'm sure we're going to hear about that on cross-examination. Oh, he's saying that's what Karen said earlier. Still, all right. Okay, no, he's quoting her. All right. Okay, whew. All right, okay, people. I know. I get it now. Now he's quoting what Karen said. All right, got it. Sorry, I'm no longer horrified by that statement.
That's why her taillight was cracked. She's gross.
Okay, all right. So yeah, he's saying this is what she said. So they beat the shit out of him. So that's why her taillight's cracked. He's being sarcastic and facetious about the taillight and quoting her. All right, got it. But still,
The Chico, oh, fuck her, bitch.
okay, that doesn't make it any better.
Thank you, sir. May I approach to retrieve your?
And you know what? You know what? They never investigated that possibility. They never investigated the possibility that the Alberts beat the shit out of him and left him for dead. But then they're calling her, like, fucking piece of shit and whatnot.
Sir, with reference to that last bit, as far as June 9th, 2022, what was going on that day in reference to?
Oh, that's a good point, Kat. Because we had the we had the witness. What was it? 2 days ago? 3 days ago? Three testimony days ago? No, two testimony days ago. We had the guy whose job it was to watch the vehicle. He said the tail light was cracked and there was a piece missing. It wasn't shattered. He testified to that. That's one of the cops. One of the cops testified to that the tail light was cracked. There was a small piece missing and it wasn't shattered or destroyed. So Kate Madison raises, that's a very good catch. He says it's cracked. He didn't say it was shattered. He didn't say the tail light was broken and missing. He said it was cracked, not destroyed. But then later, Proctor made sure it was destroyed. That's going to be what the defense is going to say, and it seems to be there.
To this matter again.
Miss Reed was being processed at the Milton Barracks.
Thank you.
That's a very good catch. Thank you for that.
I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Judge is having none of this. She's giving the 1-2 word answers. I did like earlier when she said, speak, like speak up. No, it's like speak up. She's over Proctor. Yeah, it was the Dighton cop yesterday morning. Like 5 officers. He seems like a good guy. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning here. It was only cracked. There was a small piece missing, but it wasn't shattered, was what he said.
Can we do another set of documents to recognize those?
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Another text thread with members from my office, troopers.
And who are the troopers that are listed within that?
Trooper Chris Moore, Trooper Jeff Kukowski, Lieutenant John Fanning, Trooper Dave DeChico, and Sergeant Yuri Buchanan.
Okay.
And what is the?
This is an interesting thing here too. Now, I mean, we've got him talking shit to his sister, to his wife, to another officer, to his buddies. Now he's texting a group of police officers that he works with, one of which is Buchanan, who is his supervisor. Buchanan is his direct line, is in direct chain of command, his direct line of reporting. It's his report to guy. So if Buchanan doesn't shut this shit down, that shows you that at least his supervisor approves and endorses what he's saying. So yeah, and we know that Buchanan's not going to tell him this is a horrific thing. Keep your damn mouth shut and don't ever say this shit again. We're gonna submit you to discipline. And breaking news, we've just had news courtesy of Ozzy Overlord and a few of you here in chat. Hunter Biden has been found guilty on all 3 charges. On all 3 counts, Hunter Biden has been found guilty. There you go. All right, so let's see what Officer Buchanan, and I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, wink, wink. Let's see if he shuts him down or if he just goes along with it and tacitly agrees and shows us the depths of impropriety, unprofessionalism, and perhaps corruption in this police office.
First message sent, date and time.
That would be 5/26/2022 at 8:19 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, 8/26/2022, 5:36 p.m.
And what is listed as far as the number of messages within this chain?
651.
And fair to say the documents before you do not contain all 651 of those messages within this chain. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2682. You see a message sent from Trooper DeChico on August 17th, 2022 at 9:42 p.m.
Yes.
And is that an image contained on the next page, which is 2683?
Yes, it is.
And what is the image of?
That is a picture of Mr. Yannetti, appears to be from quite some time ago.
Now, turning your attention to the next page, 2684. And there's a response from you, August 17th, 2022 at 9:44 p.m. Is that correct?
Sorry, sir, go with the date and time again, please.
So page 2684, 8/17/2022, 9:44 p.m.
Yes,
You see there's like sort of 3 responses from you.
I have you now.
If you could just read the 3 responses from yourself, sir.
Okay, so these came from me. Funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. No nude so far. I hate that man. I truly hate him.
All right, there's a lot to unpack there. There's 3 bombs right there in that text. Calls Karen an R word. All right, let's break this down in real time here. Let's oh my God, dude, the prosecutor Lally just needs to shut this down now. They're not going to get anything useful out of him after this. Nothing he says is going to contribute to proving Karen Reed's guilt at this point. Just shut it down. The damage has been done. Get him off the stand, Lally. That's your hope here. Let's listen to this text message. Break these 3 things down.
Yes.
You see there's like sort of 3 responses from you.
I have you now.
If you could just read the 3 responses from yourself, sir.
Okay, so these came from me. Funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone.
R word client's phone. Calling Karen Reed the R word.
No nude so far.
He's looking for nudes on her phone and hasn't found any yet. Oh my God. And that was brought up. That was one of the things that was brought up during Yannetti's opening statements, was that he was searching for nudes on the phone and he was disappointed because he hadn't found any yet. So 1, she's an R word. 2, there's no nudes on her phone. And 3,
I hate that man. I truly hate him.
I hate that man. Speaking of Yannetti, her lawyer, I truly hate him. That's 3 things right in a row that are just incomprehensibly unprofessional and damaging to the prosecution's case.
Now, with reference to the investigation at this point, you're talking about his client's phone. Who are you referring to?
Miss Reed.
And with regards to the phone at that point, can you describe for the jury sort of what's going on during this time period of August 17, 2022 in regard to Ms. Reed's phone?
So after obtaining a search warrant for Miss Reed's phone, we weren't able to extract any data from it until August of 2023. Troopers in my office knew I was going through the phone that evening. I was most interested in location data, text messages, Google searches.
Nude photos.
That was the update I gave the troopers in the office. It was a distasteful joke. I should have.
A distasteful joke. Everything he said he's tried to explain it away as a distasteful joke. You give someone one distasteful joke. You give someone one, maybe 2 unprofessional comments. But if they don't rein themselves in after that, that is a character flaw. That is an indication of themselves. And if they're superiors, and remember, his direct report in his chain of command, Buchanan, hasn't shut him down. He's accepted it. He's rolling with the punches. And I said after 20 minutes, I would do a breathalyzer check just for giggles. It's warming up now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Calculating. You can't see it. It's a 0.038. We're only halfway. In Korea is the legal intoxication level in Korea is 0.03%. We're at 0.03%, 0.038%. So we're halfway to intoxication in most states of the United States. We're past it in Korea. And it says 2 hours and 31 minutes to sobriety for me. But anywho, all right. That was just a little fun and games. Let's get going here. We've got Ms. K. Grift. It's my birthday too. Ms. K. Grift. Happy birthday, I guess. Can't think of a better way to spend it than asshole cops and leaky texts. Oh my gosh. Thanks for being awesome, Jeff. Ms. K. Griff, thank you so much for being a supporter of the channel for so long and for being such a wonderful person. Thank you so much. And very, very, very happiest of birthdays to you. Unlike the previous chatter's wife who has no idea what she was getting into, Ms. K. Griff, you know full well what you're getting into when you're on the channel here. So happy birthday to you amidst this. Congratulations to you. And Ozzy Wombat, who's been a member for 1 month. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it Proctor who said the tail light was cracked and with a missing piece, which is still missing? No, that was the other officer from the place where Karen Reed's parents lived. The town, the name suddenly slips my mind. I know it's not Dingy, but for some reason Dingy's in my head. Starts with a D. But yeah, it wasn't Proctor. It was the other guy that was on the stand on day 20. Barros. That was his name, Barros. Barros from Dighton. That's correct. All right, there. I knew it started with a D, and there was a G in it. So all right, that's it. It wasn't Proctor. It was Officer Barros, Nicholas Barros from Dighton.
Gave a proper update instead of that. I wasn't able to go through the phone as thoroughly as possible because I came across some text between an attorney and Miss Reed, so I had to stop going through her phone, and I made my supervisors aware of those communications.
Now, just in reference to what you had just said, this is in August.
No flux after 4 shots.
Is that correct?
Correct.
A double
So
shot of
after the
absinthe,
search
1
warrant
Korean
obtained for the
whiskey, and 1
defendant's
that I
phone,
had before.
Where did it go? You indicated you gave it to Trooper Garino, and where did it go?
Trooper Garino essentially hooks it up to a device called Gray Key, where it tries every possible combination passcodes in order to access the data contained in the phone.
And at that time, when you retrieved it pursuant to the search warrant, you didn't have the passcode to the defendant's phone. Is that correct?
Correct.
So that device is designed to sort of go through numbers and try to find a combination to get into the phone, correct?
Correct.
And so from the time that you had seized it in late January or on January 29th, 2022, until this date in August of 2022, had you been able to get into the phone or see anything in the phone in those intervening months or 7 months between January and August?
No.
And so then at this time that you're sending this text message in August of 2022, is that around the time that you were first able to access the phone?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Yes, that was the first time we were able to have access to the phone.
And with reference to your access to the phone, were you looking for nudes or anything like that in regard to the defendant?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Like I stated, I was most interested in Miss Reed's location data, text communications, Google searches, things of that nature. More evidence contained within the phone.
And so, sir, you mentioned at some point you came across some information that caused you to sort of freeze your looking through the phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so as far as that specific time period in August of 2022, when was the next time that you or any troopers from your office were able to actually look at any extraction of the defendant's phone?
So once I came across that text communication that took place on the 29th between Ms. Reed and an attorney, the phone had to be sent off to what they call a taint team to remove any attorney-client privilege information from the phone, and then it would be returned to us as well as defense received a copy of that as well. I'm not positive on the time. It was quite a long turnaround for that process to have be completed.
Sometime at least in the spring or summer of 2023. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right.
May I approach to retrieve, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, while he's approaching and retrieving, Sebastian Mueller dropping a pinky Tuscadero on us. Sebastian Mueller bringing the
Yeah, one moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
bringing the heat. Oh my gosh, that gets you another foghorn. It gets worse, Jeff. Just wait till cross. Also, could you read Turtle Boy's tweet about this? Someone send me a DM on Twitter. Turtle Boy's text about this. I'll be happy
Thanks,
to
sir.
read it.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to see you at Sidebar so I don't interrupt your cross.
All right, that's it. That's all. That's how he ends. Yeah, again, that's just pull the ripcord and get out of there as soon as you can. Sebastian Mueller has created a situation here. He's put us over the $400 mark, and I have no idea. We don't have a $400 stretch goal because it's never been an issue before. I have no idea what to do, other than just give you my sincere and deepest thanks and appreciation. Thank you, Sebastian Mueller. You are the king of the day, hands down. Thank you so much for your support, brother. Over the last 2 years, it's deeply appreciated. Seriously, and whether it's a big pink boy like this, whether it's a red boy, whether it's a 99-cent chat, I don't take any of your super chats or things for granted because it's you parting with your hard-earned money to support my channel. Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you to everyone else too. Emily Morse, who supported us for 10 months, says the whole force is a disgrace. This is just disgusting. Correct. And now we don't want to keep doing shots. I mean, that's we don't want the show to go off the rails. Time to align. No. I almost read Silent Trade 5s. No, I'm not going to read that. Feet pick. No. Feet pick. What? By the way, guys, we got 1,100 people here, 697 likes. I'm going to remind you one more time to hit that like button. You've been here more than 30 seconds. You'll either like me, you like the trial, you like what's going on in the trial. For whatever reason you're here, so please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And because I'm feeling generous, make sure you mark off a heavy Boston accent on your bingo card. Because I think Proctor's proven his accent is creeping out. Off the rails too late. You can't make this any more of a shot show than Proctor. Yeah. him going off the rails is okay. Me, not so much. What is the worst alcohol you have now? Take 2 shots of that. The worst alcohol I have right now is the Nika. Better be careful of that pronunciation. The Nika Japanese duty-free whiskey. It's this horrific bottle. It's about $50 a bottle, but it comes in this really cool suit of armor. I bought 2 bottles to use as bookends. It's like so bad that I had friends over. We just wanted to taste it. We knew it would be bad because of the price. But then it was really, really bad. So we decided to mix it with Coke, and all it did was ruin the flavor of Coke. So yeah, but that's not the worst alcohol. The worst alcohol I have in my possession is Chinese Baijiu. And it's supposed to be this really amazing bottle of Baijiu. Like Baijiu is sort of like the Chinese traditional whiskey that is really, really, really poison. There's nothing, it tastes like orange flavored gasoline. It's just orange flavored petrol. And it was given to me for my birthday, God, probably 11 years ago. And there's about this much gone from the bottle. It was allegedly $450 for a bottle from the oldest manufacturer of Chinese Baijiu, but that's the worst I have. And there's no way in hell I'm taking a double shot of that. So that's, yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, Hayden, funny. Oh dear. All right, we're gonna skip through this a little bit here, I guess. Eyeball shots. What? No, I don't even know what that is, and I don't want to know. Peanut butter whiskey is actually not that bad, but it just tastes like peanut butter syrup. It's like Fireball. You get like 1 drink of it, and that's enough for a few months. I'd rather drink rubbing alcohol than Baijiu. I am there with you. It is bad. We did the breathalyzer. It was 0.038%. But please, people. All right, you guys aren't helping. Do I need to set up a $400 stretch goal? I have no idea what that would be because, like I said, I've never had to deal with it before.
All right. So just before you start then, so we'll finish at 4. We're trying to figure out the schedule this time. I'm going to meet with the lawyers and witnesses. We're trying to work all that out, but as it looks right now, I thought it was going to interfere with another day this week. As it looks right now, it may not. At the most, it will be half an afternoon or something, maybe on Friday, but it does now look good that we'll be able to continue with this. We're out tomorrow, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be full days.
Okay.
And we'll be able to keep moving. All right. All right, Mr. Jackson, go right ahead.
Thank you, Anna. Super Proctor, in the summer of 2022, August 17th specifically, you were sitting at your desk, presumably alone at your office, at about 10 p.m. at night, going through my client's personal cell phone, correct?
I love that question. I love the way he worded that. Okay, I wanted Yannetti to do this, but I see why, because of the text that was that was saying I hate Yannetti. So I see why Jackson has to do this, but that was a beautifully crafted question. For exactly the reason that Mingo just said. He could have just said, so you were looking through a cell phone, but he tried to make that sound as creepy as possible. You're sitting alone in your room, in your office, late at night, going through her phone. And I assume the next words out of his mouth are going to be looking for nudes. That's beautifully. He is making him sound like a creepy mofo, just sitting alone in his office, scanning her phone, looking for things. Well done, Jackson.
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, you were sitting there texting with your friends and colleagues at Massachusetts State Police about you going through her personal cell phone. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
And that included Trooper DeChico. Is that right?
DeChico, yes, sir.
Trooper Fanning, Trooper Buchnick, Trooper Moore, and Trooper Kotskowski.
Kakowski.
Tell me that again.
Kakowski.
Kakowski.
Yes, sir.
All right, all the consonants are silent. Fair enough. Trooper Fanning and Trooper Buchnick are your supervisors.
Oh, both of them
Yes.
were his supervisors. I didn't know Fanning was his supervisor. I knew Buchanan was his supervisor, his direct report. Oh, God. That makes it worse. He's got two of his supervisors in on these texts.
And you were bragging to all 5 of them that you were going through Karen Reed's cell phone about 9:45 at night.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Is that right?
No, I wasn't bragging, sir.
How did you refer to Ms. Reed in that text exchange where you informed them that you were going through her phone?
I used regrettable language. I said going through his retarded client's phone right now.
You were shown a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Unetti, correct?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
Same document. Oh, Your Honor, I think the court has the copy that I was going to use.
I thought I gave him back to you.
Okay, we have a copy. Ms. K. Grift, she DM'd me a Turtle Boy's tweet about this. That Proctor just had to read a text he wrote saying that he went through Karen Reed's phone and was disappointed that he didn't find naked pictures of her. Juror number 3 shook her head in disgust, mouthed something and looked away. Juror 12 opened her mouth in shock, rolled her eyes and looked away from him in disgust. There is no coming back from this again. Until you see the jurors' faces, you can't understand how truly over this is. I haven't seen the jurors' faces, but like I said, just based on that alone, with 10 women on the jury, it's over. It's done. And again, he's gone with the regrettable text stuff here. All right, while he's reading that, we've got another big one from Sonny or
You
Chris.
received a photograph.
This is why people are growing up to hate public safety professionals, cops who think a badge is a crown. You're right. Can't argue with it.
Actually, Your Honor, if I could, I would ask that this document be marked as next in order.
And while they're marking the evidence, Duncan,
assuming
Idaho
the
with
witness
$10.
verifies its
It
authenticity.
says Lally
So
tried to
go
get in
ahead.
front of the damning evidence of the
Do
crooked
you
cop,
recognize this
but
document?
all he did was serve him to the defense on a silver platter. He's not a great prosecutor. You, sir, are correct.
Document?
I do, sir.
Same document that you were shown, copy of the same document that you were shown by Mr. Yannetti, correct?
Still Lally.
I've done that twice. Mr. Lally.
Correct.
All right. Is that a true and accurate reflection of the text messages that you were exchanging with Chris Moore, Jeff Kakowski, John Fanning, Vito DiCicco, and Yuri Buchanan?
Wow.
Yes.
I'd ask that this be marked.
Okay, any objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you at Sidebar. May I have that, please?
Yes.
All right, more sidebar. Now, mark off on your bingo card. Judge calls for sidebar. We've had a couple of those. I just forgot to mark it off there. Oof. Chloe Albert's revenge. Why do I keep saying Chris Albert? Chloe Albert's revenge. Who's worse, Proctor or Captain of the Concordia? Proctor's way worse. Proctor's way worse than the captain of the Costa Concordia. Oh my God. But I do like that Jackson went straight for the jugular right out of the gate. He's a tenacious little thing. Ozzy Overlord, bring out the Elmo. The jury needs to see the words on paper. Yeah, why they haven't shown the texts on the overhead, have they? The prosecution didn't do that. Jeff, please release the hounds. The hounds are not here. They've left the room. Oh, but as you say that, Strawberry has just come in and she's ascending to her throne just as you said that. So, all right, there we go. Boop. Strawberry has just climbed up onto the chair. That was good timing, Taz. The dogs had left and Yoda is asleep on the sofa. Yoda just kind of leaves this room and goes over and crashes on the sofa. Strawberry stays here until the bitter end. So let me zoom in a little bit here on Straubs. All right, there we go. And there she shall remain until the end of the day. That's normally where she goes to sleep. Good timing, Taz. That was good. Mary Jane, really not Sarah. Member for 2 months says, "Can you kiss my messed up ankle, boo boo, Jeff?" Aw. Oh, there you go. Don't mess up your ankle. That hurt. It's got smoke in my eye. All right, we're waiting for the judge to get done saying something. I really wish we could hear what's being said at Sidebar, because I want to know what the judge is talking about. Ozzy Wombat, Turtle Boy, and Jackson had a laugh after court about Lally being on the defense now. Oh no, we knew from the opening statements, from the comments that Iannetti was attributing to Proctor during opening statements, that Proctor would probably be the best witness for the defense, and it's turning out to be that way. And again, this is the problem. If you followed closely the testimony for the past couple of weeks, the prosecution has been doing their damnedest to fill in the gaps of how the evidence was collected, who collected the evidence, what evidence was collected, and how it fits together. For what I think is an effort to avoid having to put Proctor on the stand, because they knew how bad it was going to get. But ultimately, in the end, Proctor is on the defense witnesses, the defense witness list. So the defense was going to call him no matter what. And the prosecutor had no choice. They forced the prosecution to call him as a witness so that they could devastate him on cross-examination. So it was a well-played chess game by the defense from the beginning. I was actually thinking of that song. All right, let's kind of fast forward through this here a little bit. I expected to go about 2 hours, but I've been talking a lot. So how much we got left here? Oh, we've only got about 24 minutes left. So let's fast forward through this.
The witness, please.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. It's Sidebar cocktails. And like I said, we got pushed well over the 400
Yes.
mark, so we'll just do a cheers to everybody. Thank you
Trooper
for all the support tonight.
Proctor,
Unprecedented. Thank you.
Trooper DeChico had sent you a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Iannetti, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, because of the technical issue, I'm not going to display on the television. May I display this hard copy briefly?
Sure.
Thank you. You see that, gentleman?
I do, sir.
Is that the photograph that you received?
Yes.
Is that what you referred to on direct examination with Mr. Lally about receiving a photograph from Mr. Iannetti?
Correct.
And then your response was what?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
Actually, your response was,
Oh, no.
I'm going through his retarded client's phone right now, correct?
Yes, after the picture, sir. Yes.
Who's the retarded client?
I was referring to Miss Reed again. Unprofessional language.
I'm asking who you were referring to.
Miss
I know
Reed.
You got an explanation. Who was it you were referring to as retarded?
Miss Reed.
Karen Reed, the woman sitting to my left.
Yes, sir.
The subject of your investigation as a professional, correct?
Yes, sir.
As an unbiased, objective investigator, the person that you were investigating, you referred to your bosses as retarded. Correct?
Again, poor language on my part.
No,
Poor language is one way to put it. Completely offensive is another way to put it.
Yep.
Right?
Objection.
okay, argumentative. That's argumentative. I'll give him that.
I've got to sustain that, Mr. Jackson.
But he got it out there. You
Referred
can't
to
unring
my
the bell.
client as retarded.
Man, he's dropping the R words hard here. He wants the jury to understand the seriousness of this. He's going to drop that R word again and again and again and again. And I assume he's going to make Proctor say it again and again and again.
Then you decided to make a comment about Mr. Yannetti, her lawyer, correct?
Correct.
And what did you say about Mr. Yannetti again?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
I hate that man. I truly hate him, correct?
Correct.
You didn't say I dislike him, disagree with him. You said I hate him, correct?
Correct, sir.
That's a visceral response to someone who's just doing a job, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask it differently.
Sure. Let me ask it this way. Were you upset or annoyed or pissed off that Karen Reed had gotten representation, legal representation, to represent her?
No, not at all. That's her right.
Really?
Well, let me ask you this. In August of 2022, you said you absolutely hate it, correct?
I don't know if I use absolutely.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I didn't use absolutely, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it all right. I truly hate that man. I absolutely hate that. That's the hill you're going to die on. That's the thing you're going to have problems with in your testimony. No, I didn't say absolutely hate him. I said all the other shit you said that I've said, but I didn't say I absolutely hate him. Proctor, you are now officially an idiot.
Truly, correct?
Truly, yes.
How do you feel about him now? Sitting right there.
I still don't care for him now.
Right. I'll let it stand.
And he had the opportunity right there to go, yeah, I was a bit harsh. I shouldn't have used that word. He just tripled down and said, yeah, I still don't like the guy. He had a chance to make it like this much better, but he just made it worse.
What did you tell your colleagues that you were looking for as you sat at almost 10 p.m. at night on a Wednesday night, August 17th, 2022, looking through Karen Reed's phone?
Again, the creepy way he phrased that. So now the jurors are going to get the picture of him sitting alone in his office on a Wednesday night in the dark, looking for pictures of nudes of Karen Reed on her phone. That's the picture they're painting. Beautiful, beautiful, Jackson. And now they're going to make him say nudes.
I didn't tell them I was looking through anything. They knew I was going through Miss Reed's phone. I provided a inappropriate joke as an update. They knew I was going through location data, text messages, Google searches. But like I had mentioned earlier, I had to stop.
Except for Proctor, none of that really professional sounding stuff ended up in your comments to your bosses, did it?
Again, it was a poor joke.
Is that yes or no?
Did you not know?
It did not.
No,
As a
sir.
matter of fact, what did you write after you talked about going through the, quote, retarded client's phone?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
No nudes so far.
No nudes so far, correct?
Correct.
And you said that to your bosses.
Yes, sir.
Yep, and
You were
nobody called
looking
him
for
on it.
naked photographs of Miss Reed on a Wednesday night as you sat in your office at 9:44 p.m., correct?
No, not correct.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked for naked photos of a male suspect that you're investigating?
I don't look for naked photos on anyone's phones.
But you said you were looking for nudes of Miss Reed.
Like I
correct?
had said, Mr. Jackson,
I love Jackson now. He's my hero. You ain't looking for nude pictures of dudes, are you? Oh no. I shouldn't laugh. That's horrific. But that was so horrific, what he was doing and the way that question was phrased. That was brilliant. Jackson is my new hero. Dude, that was brilliant. You just subtly call into question his manhood, and that's awesome. Good Jackson. that was good.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
All right, let's get on to the testimony.
Jackson, it was an inappropriate joke.
So this is a citizen. She's a woman. You were supposed to be objectively investigating. Does your text message to your colleagues at Massachusetts State Police reflect an objective investigation of a citizen?
Objection.
You can get part of that question and ask it again.
Do you believe that your text messages were reflective of an objective investigator?
Objection.
I'll allow that. Do you believe that, Trooper Proctor?
I believe poor jokes have, in unprofessional language, have no bearing on the integrity and the facts and physical evidence of this case.
It's not that they don't have any bearing on the facts and integrity. It's that they have no place in a professional investigation because it shows bias, right?
Objection.
So I have to sustain that as asked. Go ahead and ask.
Oh, see, I have to sustain that as asked. I told you, the judge does not like Proctor at all. That was an indication she regrets that she has to sustain that objection. Yeah, exactly, Skoda. Bev's like, finish him. The judge is not a fan of Proctor and really seems to want him crucified, but she's like, sorry, I gotta object the way that was phrased. Try again.
it differently, Mr. Jackson.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating Karen Reed as objectifying her, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow
Now
that.
it. Yep.
Is that right?
Rephrase the question, please.
You weren't so much
Yeah,
as
repeat it.
objectively investigating her as objectifying her in those moments.
And mark off. Could you please rephrase that on your bingo card, people?
Again, Mr. Jackson, it was a poor choice of words and a joke that I should not have texted out. But from the start of the investigation, we didn't know what we had.
And your Trooper Proctor, your point in saying no nudes so far to your colleagues in Massachusetts State Police was to suggest that you were looking for nudes and you'd update them when you found them. Correct?
Mhm.
Incorrect.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you find any nudes of
Again.
Karen Reed?
I didn't go through the photos, sir.
Did you find any nudes of Karen Reed?
I didn't go through the photos, sir.
You were successful in your quest.
I came across text messages from Miss Reed to another attorney on January 29th, so I had to stop looking through her phone.
So you got sidetracked before you could get to the naked pictures of Miss Reed. Is that what you're saying?
Sustained.
Adrienne, I love you.
To be clear, when you sent those text messages on that group chat, those text messages included, as we said, or as you said, not one, but two of your supervisors, correct?
Correct.
Were you ever reprimanded for your conduct
Yep.
in sending that text message?
Objection.
So
Answer.
that's sustained. Do we need to go to sidebar based on what you told me earlier?
We do not.
Okay, so,
I'll ask it a different way.
okay.
Did either Trooper Fanning or Trooper Buchanan dress you down in a responsive text message in that text thread for doing something so abhorrent as looking for nudes or referring to nudes of a female suspect or subject of your investigation. Did that ever happen?
Not that I can recall.
That's what I was talking about.
As a matter of
earlier.
fact,
That's what I was talking about earlier. The fact that he had two of his superiors, including his direct report, his direct superior in the chain of command, in the line of authority, him and then the lieutenant, did not reprimand him, did not call him out. The implication there is that this is an institutional problem that goes all the way, at least to the lieutenant level, to where this is the standard operating procedure for the police. This is how they treat the citizenry. This is how they treat the public. This is the filth. This is the disgust. This is the just the foul, vile, just horrific shit that they're dwelling in during their investigation. And it's approved and supported and not corrected by the high levels of the police department. That's the insinuation, and it can't possibly be lost on the jury.
in reference to one of the text messages in the same string, your boss, Yuri Buchanan, actually responded to the photo of Mr. Yannetti.
Oh, no.
Didn't he?
No.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Oh, what has Bukake done now?
He did, sir.
After you received the
In
photo,
this case, the
that's when
Appalachian
you said,
pigs.
I'm, quote, funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. Is that right?
Objection.
I'll allow this, but not too many.
Sure. Is that correct?
I love Judge Ben. I hated her at the beginning, but now I love her for a brief period of time. He's asking these brutal, just devastating questions, and she doesn't say, up to this point, with all the other witnesses, all right, it's time to move on, or all right, we're done with that. All right, next line of questioning. She's like, I'm not going to allow you many more of these, but continue for the time being. I'm not too many more of these, but continue for now. In this little bubble of time, I got mad respect for Bev, Judge Bev. All right, not too many more of these soul crushing questions, but just continue for now.
It's on the top of page
Yes, sir.
685.
That's correct.
And Yuri Buchanan liked that comment. Funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone.
I see you laughed at an image here, sir. I can't tell if he liked that comment, sir.
May I approach?
Yes.
I don't know if it's just because it's faded or.
The judge is good here.
Yeah,
I got to
my
give it
copy's
up to the
faded.
judge.
Top 2685. You can use my copy if that helps.
All right. Thank you.
What do you see on the top of that page?
That Sergeant Buchanan liked it.
Like what?
The going through his retarded client's phone, sir.
Great. His direct report, his direct immediate superior in the chain of command, liked the fact he called Karen Reed the R word. His boss. Well, we've already decided Fulton County, Georgia is not a place we want to go. And apparently, Canton, Massachusetts is also a place you don't want to go. Imagine you're just Joe Citizen. There's 1,228 people watching this right now. Imagine one of you 1,228 people who have seen this trial are driving through Canton, Massachusetts, and you are pulled over by Trooper Proctor. What are you going to be thinking? What are you going to be thinking when this guy who says this about citizenry, who thinks this little of the public, what are you going to be thinking when he comes up to your window? You're going to be thinking, oh shit, anything could happen. This dude could do anything he wants.
Approach?
Yes.
I'll take my copy.
There you go.
And again, notice he is
So you
not.
supervisors at
Notice he's not former Trooper Proctor. He's still on the force. He's still doing his job. He's not former Trooper Proctor. So he's still, this behavior is still being condoned by internal affairs. It's still being condoned by HR. It's still being condoned by his superiors. It is still being condoned by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the city of Canton. Keep that in mind.
State police not only didn't ride you for making comments like this, he encouraged it.
Objection.
Sustained.
Trooper Proctor, this is your direct chain of command. Is that right? You're a Buchanan?
Yes, sir.
Did you believe that your conduct was a misuse of your authority and power as you were going through her phone in August of 2022?
Objection.
Allow it.
No, I had a warrant signed by a district clerk, Stoughton District Clerk, to go through Miss Reed's phone. I don't think it was an abuse of power. I had every right to go through that phone.
Did the warrant say anything about looking for news of my client?
Objection.
Did it
No, you're
say anything?
Oh God, Bev. Yeah, did it, huh? Answer it. And again, the prosecution, Lally is objecting. He doesn't want this repeated, but these are the words of, he said it. He said it. You can't object to something the dude said. He's just asking him to repeat it. Object as much as you want, Lally. These are the words that came directly from the witness. What do you object? Objection. This is really bad for our case, Your Honor. That's the only objection he gets. And that doesn't work. He's just repeating his words. Your dude said it, man. You got to live with it.
Think about that?
no, Your Honor.
Okay, next question.
So that would be an abuse of the power that was given to you by the court, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Trooper Proctor, you'd agree that the hallmark of any good investigation, as you've been taught and others in Massachusetts State Police have been taught, is that the investigation and the investigator have to be fair. They have to be impartial. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Meaning that the investigation has to be free of conflicts, right?
Yes, sir.
The investigator has to be free of conflicts, right?
Yes,
The investigation has to be free of bias. Is that right?
correct.
You can't be biased against the person that you're investigating. That would compromise the entire thing, wouldn't it?
Yes,
And you were biased, weren't you? Is the implication.
Basically, you follow the evidence. You're supposed to follow the evidence wherever it takes you, right?
correct.
Good or bad, top to bottom, just follow the evidence and report it back. That's how an investigation is supposed to be run, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And these are things that you learn early on at Massachusetts State Police Academy and then in your detective training. Isn't that right?
It is.
Literally, it's part of an oath that you took at the academy that you will, quote, faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent on you as a Massachusetts State Police trooper, right?
Yes, sir.
You swore that oath.
I did.
When you start an investigation, everybody in that investigation should be treated exactly the same. Don't you believe that's true?
Correct.
Everybody, have you ever heard the phrase, everybody's a suspect until they're not? Right?
Objection.
Sustained.
It's especially important early in an investigation, before all of the facts are known, that the investigator is not compromised by bias, prejudice, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Most important early in the investigation, because that's when the most things are up in the air. There's the cloud, the fog of not knowing exactly what the truth is, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
In other words, Trooper Proctor, you don't get to pick a suspect and then try to find evidence to support your choice, right?
Correct.
But in this case, it's exactly what you did, isn't it?
Absolutely not.
All right, Mr. Jackson, why don't we end for today?
This is
Okay.
as good a place as any. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. All right, so folks, we're off tomorrow. Those same 3 cautions, please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into this case. If you happen to see, hear, read anything about the case, please disregard it and let us know. We'll see you Wednesday morning. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right now, it's anticipated will be full days of testimony shortly. Thank you.
All right.
Well, she's looking a little smug. She knows this was a good day for her. She's looking a little smug there, and justifiably so.
All right, so one last time at Sidebar for scheduling, okay?
All right, let's see what they come up with the scheduling here, because we still have to do it. What 3 to 5 hours of voir dire of the expert testimonies of the expert witnesses for the defense to see if the defense is able to call these people as witnesses. So they're probably trying to figure that out as well. Jonathan Irwin, soju? We used to mix it with Kool-Aid. Oh God. Well, I guess that's one way to drink soju. Mix it with something a little less. Oh, got the hiccups now. Something a little less offensive than just soju. They failed John. They failed Karen. They failed justice. Daily dysfunction. I can't say that better than you just put it. Because as we talked about earlier, no matter what happens, the only scenario where there is any justice for John O'Keefe is if she actually did it. And if the prosecution is able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she did it, which seems utterly impossible at this point. Which means if she didn't do it and she goes down, the real murderer isn't held accountable and there is no true justice for John O'Keefe. If she did do it and she gets to walk because of Proctor and the prosecutor, Proctor and the prosecutor, that's difficult to say. So if she did it and gets to walk because of Proctor and the prosecutor, there is no justice for John O'Keefe. If she didn't do it and she gets off, there's justice for her, but there's no justice for John O'Keefe. They essentially, no matter what happens at this point, they failed John. There's a very, very slim possibility of justice for John O'Keefe, but I don't think there's any realistic chance of that happening. And Livid Pigeon says, for 24 hours without testimony, the jury gets to stew on what has just been said. You're right. Wow. I hate you guys for making me watch this. Oh my God. If you caught the end of yesterday's stream or the beginning of this one, I intended on covering the Laura Owens and Clayton Eckert hearing that was held yesterday, the Tonsil twins hearing. And I was just planning on doing a review of this, my usual review. When I do the reviews, I just kind of read through what happened and read my notes and just kind of hit the highlights of what was done. But I woke up to an inbox and DMs just full of, you must react to this. You must respond to this. You must watch this. You must do this. Don't do Owens. Postpone that. Focus on this. Because I thought it wouldn't get any worse than it was yesterday. I thought Lally would run out the clock and there would be no cross-examination until, I guess it would be Wednesday. But nope. You guys made me do this. This was wild. And I'll say it again for the third time. I have never seen this bad of witness testimony, this damning of witness testimony in the entire 2+ years I've been doing this YouTube stuff. Unhung Hero with the $2 says Hunter Biden verdict is in. Yes, we mentioned that earlier. Hunter Biden was found guilty on all 3 charges that he was charged with. Yep, our time. He said this is the afternoon of Monday, so real time. It will start again tomorrow morning, and we're to the point now where the judge has said the jury will have the case for deliberations by the end of the month. So I think we're just going to continue doing what we're doing. We'll watch the morning session live, and then I'll do a review of the afternoon session each day. There are a couple of things. I've checked some emails. There are a couple of things. AV to the 7th power is talking about a collab. I've got to get back to her, and I've also have the opportunity of interviewing the defense lawyer for Virgilio Aguilar Mendez, the Guatemalan guy that was set upon by police officers, and ultimately charges against him were dropped. But I've got to get back to her. We'll probably be doing that sometime this week or next week. So let's see where that goes. But mainly until this is over, we're going to be doing that morning session
All
live
rise for the court, please.
and afternoon session just my review. Unless there's something devastating that happens during an afternoon session like today, then we'll somehow work it. All right, there we go. I think we only had one bingo. I think it was Swan Lake lady. She was the only one that called in a bingo, I believe. All right, let's close that out. Let's put things right here. Well, we'll wait. We need Straubs. There we go. All right. Wow. I was struck speechless a couple of times during this. I was not expecting that. We've learned today that Trooper Proctor was more of a monster than we thought he could possibly be. I think we've also learned that the prosecution does not have a chance of obtaining a conviction. He is for those of you that are familiar with the O.J. Simpson case, or for those of you that may have followed my basically 1.5 year long review of highlights from the O.J. Simpson trial on Thursdays. No, this is the Dennis Furman. Dennis Furman. This is sorry, that would be Dennis Fung and Officer Furman. He's the Furman of the O.J. Simpson of this trial. And for those of you that aren't familiar, Mark Furman in the O.J. Simpson trial, he was a police officer who was someplace he wasn't authorized to be. Didn't tell they were supposed to be. But while he was there all by himself, he discovered blood on O.J. Simpson's Bronco. He was where he shouldn't be. He was where he didn't tell anybody he was going to be. He was there all alone when he discovered the bloody glove on the side of O.J. Simpson's property in a little alley between the fence and the guest house. Furman is also the guy who said, I'm not a racist. I've never said anything bad. I've never used the N-word in 10 years. I would never do that. And F. Lee Bailey comes back with audio recordings of him dropping the N-bomb 42 times. This is the equivalent of that. No matter what was presented by the prosecution in the O.J. Simpson trial, Furman ruined it. It was over when it was proven that he lied and that he dropped the N-bombs, because you have to discount all of the evidence that Furman collected. And I think we're seeing the same thing here. You're seeing the investigator, the lead investigator in this case, the lead guy, the head guy whose figurative fingerprints are all over this trial, saying these horrific things about a citizen, a presumed innocent suspect. I don't think there's any return from this. as I said, and I wasn't being facetious, it's literally going to take something on the magnitude of a miracle. Jesus, Lord and Savior himself, appearing in court, declaring her guilty and giving the jurors a vision of what happened and how she did it. That's about the only thing that can save the prosecution's case at this point. I thought clearly to me, clearly in my mind, they have done nothing to prove that she is any way guilty. I mean, they're going to have the most incredible medical examiner and the most incredible accident reconstructionist in the history of trials to present the most airtight scenario for exactly how she did it, to have any chance whatsoever of getting a conviction in my mind. But if we look at the like and subscribe poll, there's still 4% of you, 6% of you that think that she's guilty. I'm going to just assume that some of you just accidentally clicked guilty instead of not guilty. 6 out of 100 of you say she's not guilty. I mean, she is guilty. 90% of you say not guilty, and 4% of you say I'm lame and can't make a decision. PM55 says, I'm going to be honest. What are you going to be honest about? Spill the tea. What are you going to be honest about? Duncan, Idaho with a $5 super chat. I don't think they need to put Karen Reed on the stand at this point. Do you think they will? No. I don't think Karen Reed's going anywhere near the stand. There is no need to put her on the stand. I don't even think they need to put on much of a case. I mean, I wouldn't be terribly shocked if they said, we rest. They haven't proven this. But they are going to put on a case. It's clear. They're going to call some expert witnesses that are going to testify about how this happened, what happened, the marks on his arm, etc. So, yeah, I don't think Karen Reed is going to get anywhere near the stand. 4-day defense. Well, that was one thing we had. I didn't star it. Somebody mentioned that it's kind of unfair that they get 6 weeks and the defense gets less than half that time. Well, when you're getting your case ready, when they're doing the case scheduling, she'll ask the prosecution, how much time do you think you need to present your case? And they'll ask the defense, how much time do you think you need to present your case? And then they'll figure, in the timing, the scheduling, you maybe give a couple-day buffer and they'll set the trial schedule. So it's not like they go, all right, you get 6 weeks and you only get 2. The defense doesn't think they need any more than they've asked for. So yeah, it's not the court limiting the time. It's the defense going, we don't need as much time as they did, which is sort of the hallmark of a good defense lawyer. A good criminal defense lawyer will keep it simple, keep it straight, keep it direct. They'll go in, boom, 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 boom. Here's reasonable doubt, the end. They won't waste your time with all of these unnecessary witnesses that have been called, children of people who were nowhere near the bar that night, children of people who weren't in the home, people, children of people who had known nothing about what happened, putting them on the stand, putting all the other people that were in the house that remembered a loaf of bread in the back of a car more than they remembered anything about the accident because they didn't see it. They weren't there. They knew nothing about it. They're completely irrelevant witnesses. All this Aruba bullshit, that there was an argument in Aruba, a month before, all of that, the defense doesn't have to do that. The defense just has to poke holes in the prosecution case. And I think they're going to do a very, very streamlined, very, very surgical strike on anything that may be credible from the prosecution. South Texas, I'm assuming that's what STX means. With the $2 super chat, was the judge hearing those texts for the first time? No, the judge would have seen them before. The judge would have seen them in evidence. That's it. She knew about him. She knew what they said. They would have been likely the subject of a motion of some sort. I would assume that there was a big motion. I don't know, but I would assume that the prosecution would have made a motion to keep those texts out. Either that or they just knew there was no grounds for keeping them out, so they didn't make the motion. But yeah, that's not the first time the judge has heard that. Is Karen entitled to sue Canton PD? God, there's got to be a way. Even if she's guilty, what they did to her evidence, what they did to her phone, what this creeper did. It's got to be, I want to think it's got to be actionable some way. Next Maritime Monday, the sinking of the SS Lolly. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, Flux says she doesn't need that time. She needs like 10 minutes. Man. Yeah, I believe in this crazy world we need to respect and care for others. Yeah, what a wild idea that is, isn't it? What a strange, bizarre concept. All right, I think we're about to the end here. It is getting on 1:30 a.m. here in dark and chilly South Korea. So it's time for me to shut this down and snuggle myself up in bed and get ready to do this again tomorrow. We'll get back to the cross-examination. We're going to cover it right here, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Oh, what a day, people. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see where we can send you. By the way, while I'm doing this, while I'm trying to find a place to send you, we've got 975 people and 856 likes. Please hit that like button if you haven't already done so. That is my final appeal to you, to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Let me shut the poll down here right now. We've talked about the results. We're up to 7% not guilty. That's kind of weird. While I'm doing this, to do that, hit the subscribe button. If you have subscribed, please just double check to make sure you're still subscribed. I would be honored and privileged to have all of the new subscriptions that you guys want to throw my way. So please go ahead. And again, for those of you that have sent super chats and things, thank you so much for your support. Aside from super chats, you guys have called for it for 2 years. If you check the link below, we now have Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal options in case you don't want to give YouTube. I can't say that. YouTube doesn't like it when you say that. You know what I mean? If you just want to do something outside of YouTube, then, we have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal now as options. Right. Let's see. Let's go to my studio and find out who is available to connect to. Where are we at here? Today, customization, redirect. Let's redirect to Recovery Addict. He is doing the Florida v. Wade Wilson double murder jury trial, part 1. That's the one you may have seen the picture of the guy with tattoos all over his face that he's gotten since he was charged. Not the smartest thing to do as far as convincing a jury that you're not a bad guy. These weird face tattoos. So we're going to go over to Recovery Addict. Make sure you tell Recovery Addict hi. Tell him that it's a law rack, so it's a Legal Vices raid, and make sure you subscribe to him and like him. No, not Wade Wilson from Deadpool. All right, guys, mods, thank you so much for bearing with me, for being here and being the best mods ever. Chat, thank you so much for being the best chat there is. You guys rock the Vice Squad. It does not get better from them. On behalf of myself and Strawberry over there and Yoda over in the living room, thank you for the support, chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping each other entertained, keeping yourself in check, and walking that fine line. I appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. It's me, Legal Vices, saying good night and go say hi to Recovery Addict. Bye now.